Wow, that was part 2 of the Big Beef interview, boys. Man, I love me some Big Beef. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? No doubts about that whatsoever. Man, what do you guys think about the Big Beef interview?
Man, it was great. He had some thorough answers to my questions.
He came after it.
You'll find out just how much he likes pancakes over waffles.
Love
And
some.
stuff like that. We go into a bunch of stuff from funny questions into his into wrestling stuff, what he's getting into later on. And he's just a great guy that we had. It was part 2. We got to get it done, and we were glad to have. And thanks again to Big Beef.
Yep. Thank you so much, Beef. That was awesome. I can talk to that guy all day.
Yeah, man. He just wrestled last week at St. Louis Anarchy. He's wrestling this Friday. This is the what you need to watch this Friday, boys. Limitless Wrestling on Independent Wrestling TV this Friday. Beef continues his what seems like lifelong battle with Rip Bison. So another chapter is going to be had this Friday. So make sure you guys tune to that. So, all right, let's get into the show here today. Welcome, everybody. I am your heel host, Dirty Bird. I got with me today my tag team, as usual, from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer and leader of the Johnny Drip Drip fan club.
Drip,
That's him. You know him as Primo Silver Fox. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. And actually, real quick, let me talk to you real quick. Miss Primo, she made up something just for all you marks, just so you can remember what exactly you're looking at here and who I am. So I'm going to put this up for you just so you could stare at it throughout the entire
This is not playing,
podcast.
by the way. We have no idea what's going on here. This is out of
Boom!
Oh my God, he's got a counter now.
91 days, baby, as your champ.
That's fantastic, and I hate it so much.
Oh, I know, man. That is
That's amazing.
You're supposed to be a babyface, Primo. This is heel stuff right here, man.
I'm making the turn.
He's turning on us, man. Watch out. Leg drop is coming, AJ.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
91 days. Undefended, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Coming soon.
You don't need to. Yeah, coming soon at SummerSlam. My other host of the show, the actual babyface of the show, should I say, straight out of your mama's kitchen, assistant editor and producer, AJ. Welcome to the show, brother.
Straight out of your mama's kitchen. Great to be back.
Your mama's kitchen.
It is good to be. It is good for you to be back, AJ. But there was a message left for you while you were gone.
Screw you! You're fired!
All right. Well, I've been AJ. I'll see you guys.
You're fired!
Hang on, we got one coming up for you. Hang on. It's a special one.
You're fired! You're
Wait for it.
Donald Trump!
You're gonna see me on a rival podcast under the name like Andrew.
It's gonna be J.A.
Instead of yet AJ, he's gonna be a Tage yet.
Yet Jay.
Oh,
Ring to it.
glad to have you back, buddy. We missed
be
you. If in all honesty, man, glad to have you back here. The pod's not the same without you, man.
Good to be back. Good to be back. I missed it last week, but I love the show. It was fantastic.
We held it down for you, brother. We did our best. So I was going to take Primo down for you in squared circle questions, but then I realized there's nobody to read the squared circle questions.
I mean, you would have a distinct advantage.
And I already know the answers too. So.
Yeah, no, AJ was ducking me last week.
I was. That's the only reason. I didn't really have anything going on. I was just like, I'm on a streak right now, and I want to keep that streak going. Started my Undertaker-like streak of victories.
You're the squared circle questions champ right now.
Now I'm going to make a belt.
I'm just the entire sit down mark. So you're like the mid card champ.
I am. I'm like the IC champ of
You're the workhorse.
sit down marks.
You
I'm
are.
I'm the lazy world champ.
The undefended world champ.
Right. And I'm just here to carry Primo's belt for him. And,
Right.
That's it.
And,
Yep.
and glare at him like Paul looks at Roman.
It's
Yeah.
a loving glare that Paul.
One
gives
more big
twinkles
thing
in his
today,
eyes.
boys. I want to thank a big woman in my life. Today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
Mrs. Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
How is your
Absolutely.
mom?
She didn't answer her phone today, so hopefully she's listening to the podcast. So happy birthday, Mom. Answer your phone, woman.
She like saw who was calling. She's like, "Oh, this guy again."
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Well,
about
thank
this.
everybody listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, and SportinariumRadio.com on Fridays and all throughout the week. Primo, where else can they find the Sit Down Marks podcast? Breaking news, where can we get more of us in their ears?
As if we weren't already on enough platforms. Today, as of today, in fact, we are now on Amazon Prime Music and Audible.
Whoa. Whose game is it? Huh?
Primo's game, baby.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go.
You are the man. That is
Awesome,
awesome.
Yeah, man. Check us out on there.
We're on so many places now.
Yeah, if you can pull up an app that has podcasts on it, more than likely we are on there.
Yep, you can find us.
Yep.
And
at
should.
home, in the office, at your and your at your wife's house, your friend's house, your
and
girlfriend's. I just said
don't-
your wife's house. Who's your wife's house?
Your wife's house.
Your wife's house.
Wouldn't that
I was trying
also
to make
be
a funny
your
joke.
house?
It didn't come off too well.
That's right. And when you're listening to us, enjoying us,
Yes.
don't be greedy. Share us.
Right. Yeah. Let everybody know.
Tell others.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. Say, come and sit down with the Marks, man.
Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
There's enough
Yeah.
AJ, Dirty, and Primo.
That's right.
All right, let's get this show kicked off here, boys. The show today, we're going to talk about what happened last week. I'm going to talk a lot of indie wrestling here. We're going to talk, we're going to have Squared Circle Questions is back. We're going to see if Primo can take down AJ. And then we're going to also talk about Steiner math in promo school. A lot of 33 in the third and 66 in the sixth and 2/3 and Samoa Joes and Big Papa Pumps.
Because you're fat.
Oh man, yeah. You said something last week, and it was a perfect opportunity to say something about like the Big Bad Booty Daddy. And I listened to the podcast back. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, man, I do that all the time. When y'all say something, and I think about it later, like I should have ad-libbed that.
Do the same thing, and then I get angry.
Gotta be a little bit quicker than that. You gotta be a little quicker.
Last week was especially bad for me.
You got the fishbowl, yeah.
I wasn't even on the show last week. And I was like, I want to say this, and then
Right.
I want to say this.
Yeah. It was weird. It was the first time we ever had to do that without AJ. So
Thanks to those of you already tuning in. We got K-Rob in there. Thanks,
what's up, K-Rob?
my good buddy Pockets. I see you out there.
hey,
Pockets.
appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Let's talk some wrestling, guys. What do you say? Primo, kick us off, man. Wrestling, this day in wrestling history and birthdays. Hang
Let
on.
me talk to you.
Oh, I was gonna set you up.
Oh,
That's okay.
it's okay.
Too late.
Yeah, this
Moments
day
passed.
in wrestling history, July 14th. That is today for all
All right.
of you marks, in case you didn't know.
Got some
Now
good ones for us?
I have one. Actually, I have two, but one it's a long one, so that's why I kept it down this short. A lot of birthdays though. It's interesting. I'm gonna read the whole thing. 1991, we had the WCW had the Great American Bash. It was the first major show after the sudden departure of the current, at the time, world champion Ric Flair, who took the belt with him. Flair was recognized as the champion until he debuted for WWF later that year in September. WCW commissioned a new belt, but it was not ready for this pay-per-view. Therefore, Dusty Rhodes used an old title from Florida as a makeshift title for the moment. And which Lex Luger ended up winning when he defeated Barry Windham for the vacant title. And due to this whole situation, performers were obviously not giving it their all, and fans the entire time were chanting "We want Flair" throughout the night. This led to WCW Great American Bash 1991 going down as one of the worst pay-per-views of all time.
Weird.
Wow.
That's hard to do. They have a lot of worst pay-per-views.
They do. Yeah, interesting there.
That was 1991. Let's move forward. Let's move forward a lot of years. Let's say 29 years, in fact, to today, actually. Okay. July 14th, 2021, where we have, for this day in history, for 4 weeks in a row, 100 downloads. That's right. 4 weeks straight. We now have an over 100 average.
Look at us go!
Oh man! Hey, is Primo Lodi now with all these signs? We got to Lodi.
New signs. I'm gonna just erase it and have something else on it later on.
He's got a 91 days champion sign, 4 weeks in a row. Right. I love it though, man. Oh, thank you guys so much, everybody that's out there listening. Tell your friends. We want to keep continuing this thing. We love, we got a lot of different things in store here for the pod. 100 downloads, 4 weeks in a row. I want to thank you guys first, man. You guys are killing it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Oh, you too, Dirty.
So, yeah, this is kind of your baby, and thanks for inviting us to take a part of your baby. Also, you guys don't be greedy with us. We're going to be greedy with you. Like, you give us all, download things.
Absolutely. Like those 100 of you who have showed up for the past 4 weeks, each of you tell one friend. That's 200.
Yeah.
Right.
Get on it, you lazy marks.
And all you guys listening to this, have a friend that watches wrestling. We all have at least one.
That's right. And, it's cool these days. It's not like 15 years ago. It's cool now.
Right.
Is it,
right.
though?
Oh, man. That's interesting. Yeah, we're going to go with that. It is.
Yes, it is.
I mean, Hey, all three of us like it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. And 100 other people like it per week.
Yes.
They listen to our voices, and thank you. Thank you all over the nation. Thank you, Russia, Belgium, Germany, Australia. Thank you. We saw you pop up, Sydney.
So all right. We're only missing two continents now.
One of the Iconics downloaded it. Yep. That's Peyton. Peyton downloaded it in Australia.
All right, moving on. That was our This Day in Wrestling History. We're going to move on to birthdays real quick. For July 14th, actually, I nixed that and I did the whole week of significant birthdays to me. So we have from Progress Wrestling on July 12th, Ethan Allen.
Okay,
Ethan Allen.
Nice.
And that's
great tables.
90 and also July. That was 1992. July 12th, 1974. Stand back. There was a hurricane
coming through. Dun, 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 dun.
Gregory Helms. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have lots to say about him for a later show.
July 13th, 1971. We have Jake. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but he's from AAW and IWA. Jake Christ.
Jake Christ. Yep. Formerly the Chris Brothers, OI4K, Sammy Callahan crew. There you go.
The one from today that I put on here, July 14, 1971, Bubba Ray Dudley.
Whoa! Really?
Bubba Ray. Nice.
July 15th, we have a slew of them. We have Sean Waltman.
X-Pac?
1, 2, 3 kid?
Yeah. I was going to leave that up to your imagination. Call them what you want. 6?
6, yep. Right. 6-Pac?
That's 1972, 1985, QT Marshall.
Okay.
1983, Heath Slater. Slater Gator, baby.
Hey, my boy, He's
got kids.
Oh,
where's he been? He was on Impact, and now he's gone. I don't know.
July 15, 1951, Jesse Ventura.
The body.
Weird.
The body. Governor. The governor.
July 15th, 1942, Mil Mascaris.
Oh, Mil. Legendary.
Yeah, I showed the love everywhere, man.
Yeah.
July 16th, this is the last day. There's 4 of them on the 16th. We got Excalibur in 1980.
Nice. He's doing a great job, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Fantastic job.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We have Nux or Mike Knox.
Mike Knox.
78.
Nice.
1978.
Wait, is Mike Knox the one who like did the weird things with his hands? And was that Mike Knox?
Or was that Snitsky?
Well, Snitsky kicked the baby.
Snitsky did kick
punted the baby.
That baby had
Mike Knox was, I don't remember exactly what he did in WWE, but I remember he was in the circus thing in TNA.
Yeah, he was ECW in WWE.
And he was also in Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was with Kelly Kelly. You know,
yeah, that's right. He would always cover her up. Yeah.
Hello.
No, that means we're not going to talk about him anymore. Don't. Nope. He deprived us of that. Speaking of
Rude,
July 16th, the almighty Bobby Lashley has a birthday right before his matchup. And last but not least, a legend from 1976, Blue Demon Jr.
Blue Demon Jr., Blue Demon Jr. by some American rights is what they call him. But I have funny though, I have a Blue Demon Jr. sticker on my and I call it Blue Demon because I think of saying demon before I think of saying demon. Yeah. Unless I'm watching the Tour de France.
Tour de France.
So, but yeah, Blue Demon, man, he's legendary, man, awesome.
And that is, I was going to say with him, and I also Mil Mascaras on there. Legends from Mexico.
Man, yeah, nice. Love it.
But that is this day in wrestling history and wrestling birthdays from him this week.
Nice. Some nice, interesting July birthdays there.
A lot of them.
Yeah, was a lot of them. All right. Well, if you guys are ready to get this recap underway, man, we got some wrestling to get to. We got some indies to roll. AJ's back. Going to get us started off, man. What happened? AEW Dynamite last Wednesday.
AEW Dynamite, or for our Spanish-speaking fans, that's A-W.
Dublu.
Calle Enojada. Or Calle Enojada. That means angry street, by the way. So it was AEW Road Rager, back on the road, live from Miami. I could not get enough of it. So awesome. So awesome.
Yummy.
And then the show kicks off with a South Beach strap match featuring QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes. So I'm going to ask you guys what you think of this match after the match. You're going to get my thoughts on it right now.
Okay.
So, I'm going to skip all this first stuff that I wrote
Is
down.
Cody's interest getting as long as Undertaker's?
Oh.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I was okay. Like, it's your first entrance and your first live show back.
Sure.
Why are you having a gimmicky strap match? Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So strap matches generally annoy me. Like, because everyone in strap matches, they all do I'm going to touch the post and you touch the post. I'm going to touch the post and you touch the post. And while they go around, it's silly and contrived. However, I will say I was somewhat entertained by this match, mainly because it was in front of a live crowd. However, the crowd was pretty silent throughout most of it, which, I mean, obviously they were behind Cody, the ultra babyface kicking off the show.
Yeah, there's parts of this where I'm going to mention that too, man. I'll say right off the bat, that was I wrote down 2 or 3 notes about this show. The first one was the crowd sucked.
Yeah, they were bad.
And I wrote that early. Usually write that late. You write that early.
I was so disappointed.
Me too.
At a point later in the show that I'll get to here shortly.
Yeah.
So there's it's a strap match, basic strap match stuff.
Yeah.
Solo tries to
hit the turnbuckles.
Yep. Dustin Rhodes comes out and stops the interference from Solo. There's a low strap blow by QT Marshall. At one point, Dustin and Solo go into the crowd, and the crowd stops watching the match. Like, you can see them on the camera. They're all, like, looking at Dustin fighting through the crowd. So no one was even paying attention to the ring, which was, fine, I guess. The power at one point randomly goes out. At first, everyone's like, what the hell was that?
Right.
We'll get to that later. So, Alex, my highlight of the match was when Excalibur says it's time to stomp a mud hole in someone. I didn't understand what that meant. I still don't understand what stomp a mud hole in someone means.
That's Primo. He's Texan.
Yeah,
I was about to say that's what Stone Cold used to do. That's JR's line.
Stomp a mud hole.
Stomp in a mud hole, man.
But what does that mean?
And it stomps them till their
You're
face looks
you're
like a mushy mud
You're
hole.
stomping a mud hole.
Yeah,
But
or just stomping a hole in them.
Do people stomp mud holes in Texas? It's like
People, I think they've tried.
like they go out after the rain and they're just like. Meh, meh.
I will say I can't particularly.
That's how they practice.
I don't have any. I don't have any of my own memories of stomping mud holes. But I've seen Stone Cold do it a lot.
So this match was 12 minutes long. Or actually, no, it was 14 minutes long. 12 minutes in, I was like, end this match. Like,
Yeah.
Crowd did not care.
No. Which they didn't care about much.
No. So
The one thing they care. No, yeah, never mind. We'll get to it.
So QT Marshall hits this horrendously awkward diamond cutter, like where he ties Cody in the strap and like gently sets him onto the ropes and like kind of shuffles forward, and it was bad looking.
Yeah.
So end of the match. So Cody no sell some strap shots, which I always like the no sell. I always think I pop for it. Like
Yeah. Especially on the big guys.
yeah. And then QT Marshall spits on Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is having none of it. Hits him with 3, what are they called? Crossroads. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 hits all the things, and match is over. Thankfully, I hated this match. I hated it so much. What do you guys think? I don't know if I was alone here in hating this match.
I think it was, for what it was kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like it could have been better, way better, obviously. But I think that obviously the crowd clearly, you talked about that. But then it's just meh. It's one of those meh.
It was a very disappointing start to live shows again.
Put this in the mid card of a pay-per-view.
Yes.
To blow it off. But
my next point actually is what I feel like should have kicked off the show, and that is the in-ring debut of Andrade El Idolo.
Mm-hmm. I like the black mask. That's nice.
When he came out, I was like, is that a gimp mask? No, okay, it's a skull. It's not a gimp.
Yeah, right.
Skull. There's a distinction between those two things.
Right.
But he's taking on Matt something. It cracked me up last week when he kept calling him Matt something.
Matt something. It was Matt Sydal.
Not to be confused with Jake something.
Yeah, no. Jake something. So the crowd was silent again.
Yes.
In-ring debut of Andrade. Which is so sad because
these fans were just happy to be seeing wrestling, and they were just sitting there like wide-eyed.
I know, but they
must have thought they were in church.
Yes, because they forgot to cheer. They just forgot.
It's been so long. They're out of practice.
They have to relearn how to be wrestling fans. So it made me sad because while the match wasn't great, Andrade looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Like at one point, he gets like this cool twisting brain buster thingy. Then he does this amazing like back rope top flip. That's not a thing.
There's no back rope.
Top rope backflip into a standing moonsault, which was awesome. He does the Three Amigos, which finally brings the crowd alive. They start
finally they're like, oh, Eddie.
That's right.
Eddie. We remember wrestling.
Everybody loves Eddie.
Right.
Yes. I do like how he did like a spin-a-rooney to like get up for the second part of the Three Amigos.
Well, they give like free pasta on the way in. Is that why everybody was like,
like everyone had a turkey.
Dirty was out there serving spaghetti.
yeah. How to kill a crowd? Serve pasta on the way in. Everybody's sitting on their hands.
Everyone just wanted to take a turkey nap. Like, in the crowd. So Jim Ross at one point calls Andrade a high-dollar piece of talent. That has all kinds of innuendo attached to it. We'll move along. So also at one point, Andrade goes for that horribly contrived like foot stomp off the top rope where the legs are caught. and Matt Sydal dodges. So I was like, oh, thank God, he's not going to be using that move. So he ends up getting the hammerlock DDT on Matt Sydal for the win. Right outcome. Andrade looked great. It was a showcase match. But crowd didn't care. They did not care that Andrade was debuting in the ring. It was sad. Made me sad.
Yeah.
So up next, however, holy horse apples, since I can't cuss. So this got the crowd. Finally, this is probably a little over halfway into the paper or halfway into the show.
Yeah.
So Arn Anderson is in the ring doing Arn Anderson stuff, thanking the crowd for being back, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Then there's another power outage. And then, holy hell, Aleister Black is standing in the ring. He looks awesome, wearing like a black suit. Yeah. He's got like this black eye, like fantastic. He hits Arn Anderson with the black mass, which I don't know if they're still going to call it that.
Black mass!
Sweet one too, yeah.
And at this point, the crowd is finally like, oh yeah, we love wrestling. Here's something cool. Let's cheer.
Yeah. And they were like, it's Tommy End. It's Tommy End.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
so
Excalibur calls him Tommy End.
Yeah. No, it's Malachi Black.
He said, no, wait, I watched this promo earlier. It's Malachi
Black. So I hate that name so much. Right when they say Malachi Black, I'm like, from Children of the Corn? Like,
yes, that's me too, AJ. Malachi, every time. Every
time they said his name, I'm like, he's looking for you, Malachi. Like that stupid line from Children of the Corn.
I think of Mordecai from the rebooted ECW.
Yes. So
Kevin Fertig?
Yeah,
Kevin Vampire guy.
Another thing, too, is he wore an all-black suit. Cody was wearing an all-white suit. So
yes. Little heel versus babyface matchup there. So I'm looking forward to that food. Obviously, Cody Rhodes comes in. He eats a black mass as well. So that was awesome. I loved that so much.
I think Cody ate a even bigger black mass than Double A did.
Oh yeah. It was a glancing, gentle. I'm going to wave my foot in kind of around your face, and you gently fall down.
Yeah, and I'm gonna right as I hit it, and it's gonna sound awesome. Yeah, and that was interesting, man. Tommy End, man. Let's go, Tommy End. That's what I know him as. In the indies and stuff. I just like that name, man. Just fits into me.
Did you watch the promo, the vignette of what
they call them? No,
where he comes or he tells. So it's like he talks about. Did you watch it, Dirty?
No, I didn't see the promo.
So he talks about he's like in an asylum or a psych ward, something like that. And basically, the doctors talking to him. They're going over it. Like, you've been here for 5 years or something like that, which is how long he was in WWE. And then he said something about his eye. He said, I can't let Matt do that to me again. Which Matt, Freddie Murphy, his real name.
Cool.
So that was a little Easter egg there. So and then he basically was the doctor's like telling him his name is Tommy End. He keeps telling him, "You're Tommy End. You're Tommy End." And then he like gets him against the wall. He's like, "I'm Malachi." So it's like Malachi.
He's Malachi.
In his head. And so that was my next question. What did y'all think of the paint or the whatever that was on his face and the
black eye?
Yeah.
Well, now that I know the context, I like it even more. I thought it was a cool look to begin with.
Well, I don't know, because that to me says Alexa Bliss right now, so I'm kind of like,
No, nothing says Alexa Bliss right now.
The black face paint, this is what I see right now, around the eyes.
I swear to Jeebus, if Malachi starts having voodoo powers, I'm going to get really upset and stop watching AEW.
He starts spewing black stuff from his mouth.
Black treacle.
Yeah. But Alistair Cody right off the bat, I'll take it.
Yep, absolutely. I am looking forward to this feud very much.
Cody's going to put the shine on him.
He already looked like a megastar. Like, all he had to do was give 2 black masses, and he looked amazing.
Love it.
So that was the best moment of the show. So next I want to talk about the main event, which is Eddie Kingston and Penta against the Young Bucks. Last week, their match was phenomenal. I loved it. This week, not quite as good, but still kind of awesome. The Young Bucks traded in their porn stashes for shorts.
For George.
They came out wearing shorts. I love these guys so much.
Such good heel stuff. Right
It's so good. So the match starts off. So they're brawling on the outside, and Kingston and Penta get in the ring, and they have Brandon Cutler cornered, and he takes out his little spray tan bottles, and he starts spraying them. Like, it was great. I love this whole act. I love everything.
I do
about
too.
it.
And he's doing it so well too.
He is. He's
Like,
fantastic.
Yeah, I loved what he did during the match too.
So, at one point in the match, Penta hits a chair-assisted gooch stomp on, I believe it was Matt Jackson, which I love the gooch stomp. That's my new favorite move.
Return of the gooch stomp.
The return of the gooch stomp.
What a finisher!
Last week, Excalibur called it punishing the peritoneum, which made me laugh to no end. And this week,
terrorizing the taint.
This week, Jim Ross says,
Yes, thank you for.
or Excalibur calls it an involuntary vasectomy. And Jim Ross goes, "That's the worst kind of vasectomy." Because that happens a lot in real life. Like, you just get involuntary vasectomies. Like, whoops,
Right.
Ooh.
I got snipped.
Wow.
Yikes.
How'd that happen?
So the match was a lot of standard, plunder matches, garbage cans, tables, chairs. There was a really cool spot where Penta hit Canadian Destroyer off the apron onto a table set up outside. That was amazing. Spot of the match for me. I lost count of the Penta Cero Miedo chants.
Cero Miedo.
Which, yeah, the crowd did it. Again, they remembered they like wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they woke up. Yeah.
So, by the way, that means zero fear, since I'm giving Spanish lessons today, apparently. Cero Miedo.
Marks, listen
Zero
up.
fear, yes.
Let me teach Spanish to you.
Let me teach you something.
Let me talk Spanish to you.
So, end of the match, your typical end of the Young Bucks match, super kick, lots of plunder. And
Near
they
fall,
get the
near
1,
fall.
2, 3 for the retention of their titles.
Yeah.
Which everyone knew it was going to happen. Like, I don't want the Young Bucks to lose anytime soon, but it was
No,
still a
not-
great match.
not
I like
yet.
this feud.
Nothing too about why this crowd sucked, AJ and Primo. So earlier in the show, they're yelling, "We want Paige."
Yeah, we want
and
Paige.
they're chanting "Cowboy, cowboy poop." But not poop.
Or
But,
shiznit.
but they're and that like the only time they really got hyped the whole show. All right, and then he comes out later. What do?
Yeah,
Like,
They're as
hey.
loud as us three right now.
Yeah.
It's you.
it was like
oh, there he is. Okay, yeah.
it was
Like
like a brief moment of like super excitement, and then
Yeah.
So there are a few other things I just want to mention very
Sure.
quickly. Rest of the
Sure.
rest. I like that segment. Rest of the rest. So promo with Sean Spears in the back. Sammy Guevara whacks him with a chair.
Yep. I
And
got
promo
you.
with Kenny Omega. Still has the General Cornwallis facial hair from
Yes, he does. No chin, but it's like chopped up.
Just
on
chopped,
the-
yeah.
the mutton
Motorcycle,
chops
yeah. Handlebar, yeah.
and- Don Callis starts talking. Crowd chants, "You got fired." So
I'm like,
Again.
hey, they're watching Impact at least.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, they're
I-
paying
Like,
attention.
I was like, oh, okay, well, I like they're watching Impact. Look at that.
So Evil Uno comes out. Dark Order gets beat down. Hangman Page makes his entrance to
Yeah,
a pop, followed by a not a pop.
right. We
next-
want Hangman, and then crickets.
And then there he
when
is.
you get what you want.
Up next, sit down with Ethan Page and Darby Allin. This is the first time that I have not hated Ethan Page.
Whoa, yeah.
I love this promo from him. I thought
it was
great.
good.
It was great stuff.
That's his strong point. I mean, he's a good wrestler too, but he's way better talker.
He hasn't been doing it for me, and then this is the first time where I'm like, all right, I'm behind this match. They want to end each other's careers. Cool.
Right.
Up next, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Blah blah blah. I'm bored with this feud. After that, however, the standoff with Jericho and MJF was great. Some fat lad tries to get into the ring. jumps the barricade.
Yeah, did y'all see the whole Twitter thing that blew up about it? He said he was doing it for Cornette, and Cornette's like, "You're an idiot. No, the ring is sacred. You."
Cornette
A
was
lot of bad words. Yeah.
Plus, I like that Jericho got a few digs in.
Yeah.
I love that.
Security
I love that whenever a fan goes in and the wrestlers tee off on them.
Yep, they have when. Who was it? It was
Bret Hart.
The Hall of Fame thing?
Hall of Fame.
Oh my God! Yeah, they whooped that dude.
Got on. Yeah.
And then didn't Kevin Nash and Scott Hall beat the tar out of a fan who tried to get in once? Like actually, were like kicking him in the face.
I think Triple H has got a hold of one before.
Triple H got a hold of one and pinned him down. Yeah.
The only one who didn't was, remember when the fan came in for a Macho Man match and Macho just kind of looked at him and then just kept on doing Macho things.
What are you doing here?
He said,
You don't belong here, brother.
Oh no!
Want to go 1-on-1 with the Macho Man, huh?
That is pretty good.
Thanks. It's my first one of the.
Go back to like episode, whatever it was. We had Macho Man impressions.
Oh God, yeah, we did a Macho off. Remember that?
Yeah.
God, God bless those people that downloaded that episode.
So, those fools, little did they
All
know.
right.
So, finish up. So, the standoff, MJF has a bunch of stipulations. Chris Jericho says he'll do anything, including have sex with your mother. Again, fun.
Right.
So, this is the main thing I wanted to talk about. Apart from Team Taz. Team Taz comes out, and Taz looks like King Kai from Dragon Ball Z. There's a nerdy reference for you guys.
Absolutely.
Look it up, you nerds.
No, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
King
Kai, dirty. Look it up, you nerd.
I know Cobra Kai.
It's not that. He does not look like
not
Cobra
that
Kai. Dan
Sweep the leg.
Lambert. Dan Lambert. I want to talk about Dan Lambert.
Yeah, American Top Team.
Yes, I love Dan Lambert so much. I remember it was like 4 years ago.
Cuts a good promo.
That's my favorite promo that I've heard all year. So it was like 4 years ago when he was in TNA, and he was with Bobby Lashley and a couple of other MMA guys, and they were taking on like Moose and someone else. I don't remember.
I think Bobby Lashley was American Top Team.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
So he cuts another amazing promo, just he running down AEW and their fans, and he's talking about how if he wants to watch wrestling, he'll go to his VHS tapes of the territories. And in my head, I'm like, I bet Eric is loving this promo.
Oh,
absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it's such heel.
It was so great.
God, it was so good,
He
man.
puts over everyone while just running everyone down. It was great. I loved it so much.
He's a natural, man.
And then Lance Archer ruins everything by coming out and stopping in. I was like, you stupid baby
murder
face.
heart.
I would love if that was his real name, Lance Arthur.
Lance Arthur. So Lance Arthur ruins this.
All of a
awesome
sudden,
promo.
he's distinguished.
Yes,
Francis Arthur.
Sir Lance Arthur.
AKA Murder Hawk.
Murder Hawk. Sir Murder Hawk.
Sir Murder Hawk.
I'm gonna make a t-shirt. Sir Murder Hawk.
That's so good.
So, couple more notes really quick. Jungle Boy gets a trophy. Sure.
Yeah.
Like because he was the first one to 50 wins in AEW, so they give him like this participation trophy.
Like, here you go, kid.
Yep, here's a trophy. Put it next to your ribbon.
Paparazzi there to take pictures with him.
And then Bunny and the Blade against Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy. Nothing match, but Statlander hits a sexy tombstone for the win. I like calling it a sexy tombstone because it's like a tombstone, only like the legs are wrapped around Chris Statlander's like upper torso. So it's like, sexy tombstone. So that's the show. Like it was a great show that was ruined by the first live crowd.
Yes.
In 18 months. First live crowd, and just ruined it. It made me sad and angry. As it were.
They came for like a Sunday afternoon opera. Is what they came to watch.
It's like they thought they were all in New Japan, and then it was disrespectful to cheer.
Good show.
Yeah, it was Sir Lance Arthur that told them beforehand. They're like, now.
Right.
Everyone mind their manners. Don't interrupt.
Bow down, peasants, to Sir Murder Hawk.
I am Sir Murder Hawk.
Have some class.
Have some class.
I wish my
peons.
nickname was Sir Murderhawk.
Sir
Murderhawk.
It's like gentlemanly, like warrior. That's funny.
That's gonna be printed right up here on our next show.
Right, yep. On my nickname.
Sir Murderhawk.
I want to take a second, guys, to thank our sponsors here. Coastland Apparel is back. They're sponsoring the show here today. The boys got the hats. I got the brand new shirt in, boys. A little Coastland action, a little
Nice.
mahi.
The Mahi.
There. Yeah, man. So use promo code BirdTV for 15% off. Also use code Primo for 15% off
Hey.
as well. So and also Rowdy Energy still on board here. I got the cherry limeade today. What you got, AJ?
I'm going with cotton candy again. It reminds me of barfing on the tilt-a-whirl. Might need to cut that. But in a good way, like in a nostalgic kind of.
Oh my god, AJ, I got a show to do here, man.
They're not gonna let us on the air this week.
Oh, it's like I took giggle gas for the show. I don't know, man. Oh, AJ's killing me. All right. Of course, it's my turn to talk too, right?
Yes, we got Impact in the Indies featuring Dirty Bird.
Yep.
All right, here we go. All right. Oh, that caught me really funny.
I'm just gonna
All right, so
every time I break now.
all right, so I'm gonna bring to you here Impact Wrestling from last Thursday, and then I'm gonna cover the Indies first, man. Let me go through Impact Wrestling last Thursday. We're leading up to Slammiversary, which is this Saturday, the 17th, the night before Money in the Bank. But we're leading up to the big match between Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega for the Impact World Title. So, all right, so we start the show. Don Callis, Kenny Omega shows up, excited for tonight, and they say they look at each other and are like, "Well, hey, I'm excited for tonight. I hope everyone makes it to the contract signing." So Scott Moore comes up and he's like, "Well, I hope everybody makes it." And Scott's kind of like, all right. So anyway, so we'll talk about that later in the show. So the first match of the night, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. Get ready, boys. Let's do it. Versus What's My Name?
Something!
Primo just he got another sign. This one says something, so Lodi is back at it. All right, so Brian Myers versus Jake.
Exclamation point.
Jake something. All right, so they fight. Jake ends up winning. Sam Bill hits Jake from behind, and then Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, woo. He returns and helps Jake something. And I thought for a second we were going to have ourselves holla holla holla.
A tag team match, player.
I just want to hear Primo say that.
There's 0 tag matches on the card.
It's just like, wait a minute.
I'm just gonna like randomly say that just to see if Primo like Pavlovian instinct kicks in. It's just like, we're gonna have a tag match, player.
Mitten's Pocket said this is their favorite episode so far.
All right, so we're still going through. Don has Sami Callihan arrested for assault, and Sammy's like, he's like, "What's going on? I didn't assault Don." Blah blah blah. He's saying a lot of bad words. So anyway, next match, Deonna Purrazzo versus Lady Frost. Anybody ever seen Lady Frost before? She has Glacier vibes to me.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's kind of winter
Sub-Zero-y?
Yes. Like,
is she dressed
like
she's been around a long time, apparently. first time I've seen her.
Alexa Bliss when she was still blue and blue sparkles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sort of. But anyway, later, Lady Frost, she answers Deanna's open challenge. And funny though, like I said, never seen Lady Frost. I watched Impact. Now I've seen Lady Frost pop up on a couple indie show cards. And so she's getting booked. All right, so going through the show.
Big Frosty.
So they have the match. Deonna Purrazzo wins, and then she grabs the mic to put herself over as usual, which she should. She's one of the best in the game. Gail Kim returns. How about that?
Absolutely.
Love Gail Kim.
Deonna will have a mystery opponent at SummerSlam. So they're leaving. I'm SummerSlam. Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
Okay, JR.
Don't even say it. At Slammiversary,
TNA SummerSlam.
Yeah, at Slammiversary, Deonna will have a mystery opponent. So I've already seen possibly Peyton Royce rumors.
Nice.
What was Chelsea Green? She used to be there. Remember, she was the Hot Mess Express.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Impact for a while, so talking about might be her. So anyway,
That's a good name, Hot Mess Express.
I know, Hot Mess Express. Wait, was she the one in the wedding dress? With
yes,
the Courtney Love vibes going
smeared
on.
lipstick. Yeah, that was her.
I liked that gimmick.
It really got over for a long time. So rumors it might be her. So anyway, so her opponent is yet to be stated. Backstage, Moose attacks Sabin. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards announced at SummerSlam. So Morrissey comes out to the ring and he has a squash match against not one, not two, but three guys. So he pounds on three dudes, piles them up, and and game over is it's like his warm up match. So
pounding on three dudes.
Yes. Good Brothers returning, pulling kind of a Brother Carl preacher kind of gimmick. They're all dressed differently and they got like different, they're like Brother Carl, Brother, Luke, and, so anyway, they're really brother in a lot. So which
they're the Good Brothers.
Good Brothers, right? So anyway, they're going to be in a 4-way tag title match at Slammiversary. Is kind of what that ended up to. So. All right, boom. Let's get to the main event. Contract signing. These things always go as planned, right? I mean,
absolutely. Every time they are perfect. They are organized professionals.
Yeah, they come right out. They sign the papers. They shake hands.
They're a bunch of Sir Murder Hawks in the ring every time there's a contract signing.
They pose. So, Omega comes to the ring, signs the contract. Sammy's not there. Allegedly, he's in jail. A la crazy footage comes up on the screen. Don Callis set up a video. He got somebody that looks like Sammy to hit him, and he sent that video to the cops. It was kind of like what was the old back in the old days where they had it was like the closed circuit TV. It was like it caught people doing things.
GTV.
Yeah.
GTV.
Yeah. It was like one of
those. It would catch Jonathan Coachman in the back doing crazy
right.
things.
Yeah. Yep. Like Mosh and Chaz from the Headbreakers.
Headbangers.
Yeah. I always remember that. But anyway, it was kind of one of those situations, and Don. The video's over and Don's like, so anyway, so Sammy shows up, they let him out of jail and because they've seen the footage. So Sammy comes back to the ring.
It's quick.
He comes back to the ring with a bat and gets everybody out of the ring. He grabs Omega and package pile drivers and it was nasty, man.
Duty.
I was like, yeah.
Guitar.
Yeah, so it was awesome.
Horse apples.
Yeah, so he power bombs him, and then he power bombs Omega through a table. He grabs the belt, poses with it, signs the contract, and off we go to Slammiversary. So they still announcing some matches, stuff like that. So next week for the show, I'll announce everything that happened at Slammiversary. So that's kind of like the way it led up to what was going on there. So that is Impact for last Thursday. All right, let's get to some indie wrestling notes. here as we are going to start. Like I said, this Friday, Limitless Wrestling on IWTV. Big Beef versus Rip Bison. It's going to be an awesome show. We got St. Louis Anarchy this past weekend. Main event: Jeremy Wyatt versus Gary J fought to a 1-hour draw.
Ooh.
Nobody won the match, so they will probably run that back. But I sent you guys the link to the stream. It was very choppy. They're going to put it on IWTV. They said it was a very great match, so really good card. Big Beef was on it, but the stream was choppy, so didn't get to see it. But also, Ring of Honor, Bandito is the new world champion. He beat Roosh in the main event at best, excuse me, in the world. So, all right, guys, let's get to AAW. Last Saturday, I watched United We Stand, which is the show right before next month, August. It's called Savages and Kings. And the main event is being advertised as Fred Yehi versus Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
Yes,
Eddie
sir.
Kingston.
Let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever seen Eddie up close?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You've never seen Eddie up close?
No.
Well, I wasn't able to get seats on the floor, but we're sitting on the stage, boys.
Wow. That's
Yes, sir.
crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
Gross. That's
Way to
so
go.
awesome.
Yep. Got the tickets, man. We're sitting on the stage as that is the only match that's been announced so far.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm so hyped.
I've been waiting to tell you guys because I got them. I thought maybe one of y'all would ask me, but yeah, so I got the tickets. We're going August the 7th, man, and where our seats are right next to where the wrestlers come out. So y'all are going to see everybody up close here.
Yes. They get to all bow to the champ.
Yes, they do. You gonna bring the trophy with you?
No, I need to protect it and leave it in Virginia. I don't want to get stolen from me in Illinois by a couple of marks named AJ and Dirty.
They get to all bow to the champ. Like they're gonna come out and be like, "Oh,
it's Primo?"
Right.
He's been the champ for 127 days.
All right, so let's go over this card here so we can get set up for next month's card. So this was AAW, All American Wrestling out of Chicago, Illinois. This particular card was at Bourbon Street Bar, where the next show in August is going to be. I've seen a ton of shows there. Love it. And it's going to be a really awesome show. So, all right, let's talk about it. First match was Shaft versus Jake Chris. Shaft ends up winning the match. Next up was a promo by Russ Jones. Now, this is funny because Russ Jones is a really big dude. He looks like somebody you would not want to mess with any time of day or week. And he comes out and he's like, he tells everybody, he's talking to the fans. He's like, I'm coming here to take over. And he goes, if something's going on in the ring that you don't like, he goes, start chanting my name and I'll come out and make sure you get to see what you want to see. And I'm like, oh,
that is clever.
That is clever. I was like, okay. I'm like, Yep. All right. So next up is Laredo Kid versus Ace Perry. This might have been the sneaky match of the night. It was super good. Laredo is on fire right now. He wins with a reverse Spanish fly. Now think about that. So he flips him around the other way, and it was beautiful. And Laredo wins that match. Next up was I Quit match between Sky Blue and Hyen. Sky Blue takes the win. Next up was when I really started to get hyped because Eddie Kingston cut a promo that he wanted the winner of Mance Warner versus Fred Yehi. And he was like, he's been in AEW forever. Big, like he is super loved there. I can't wait for you guys to see it, man. This dude's going to get a superhero's welcome, especially if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be the first time he's going to be back since being with AEW. So this is going to be, big. So anyway, I started getting chill bumps. I'm like, That's my God. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get tickets because they just showed Eddie Kingston on the TV. So next up, my favorite match of the night, Josh Alexander versus Jake. 2 times in a night, baby. What's my name?
Something.
They are both AAW mainstays. Tons of forearm shots. They made it clear that this was going to be a fight right off the bat. And yeah, it was nuts, man. Great fight. Alexander wins, but Jake was the star in this man. He's really coming up here. So next was Ace Austin and Matt.
He's really going to be something.
He's really going to
be something. Jake something.
Next up, Ace Austin versus Madman Fulton versus Infamy with Robin Steele. Now, Infamy is Iceberg and Joe Asa. They are Black and Brave recruits of Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Merrick Brave as well. So anyway, they retain the titles. Next up, Jake Manders attacks Robin Steele post match. Robin Steele, he is Infamy's kind of little manager guy, but he's kind of a little weasel. So comes back to attack Manders, and then Mance Warner arrives and runs everybody off with the kendo stick. Next up, Hakeem Zayn versus champion Myron Reed for the AAW Heritage Championship. Myron Reed retains. All right, last three things of the show here. Allison Kay versus Chris Statlander. Chris got the biggest pop of the night. They went nuts for her. As soon as she walked out and got in the ring, I knew she was losing the belt. I could kind of read it on her. I thought she was looking like she was having too much fun, but I'm like, okay. But ended up being a great match. A lot of silly stuff in the beginning. You know, Allison Kay does the pinky, Chris does the finger, so they were doing this, touching like ET, and then it was like, to the finger. So
easily amused sometimes.
More of a reaction than AEW got this past Wednesday.
Yes, so
bigger pop.
Once they got that out of the way, then they had a really good match. So anyway, a good match, and new AAW champion, women's champion, Allison Kay. She's been in the women's rankings there for a long time. She's putting in her work. She probably should have been the first champion that they had, but she finally gets her due, and glad to see her grab the belt. Next up, Connor Braxton. Okay, so Connor Braxton is he's kind of the guy that gets beat up a lot in AAW. You know what I mean? And he's got a funny little gimmick. He comes to the ring on one of those little hoverboard.
I want one of those, like one of the little for lazy people to travel around.
Yes, so he comes to the ring and he starts saying, "I'm the main event." Well, the cage is up, by the way. Cage is up for the main event. He's in there. He's like, so he's like, "I'm the main event. I'm back to take over AAW," which he's never done nothing but like ever. So it's funny,
except lose.
And then the funny part was, and I'd forgotten because this was the start of the show. The crowd starts chanting, "Russ, Russ, Russ, Russ." So Russ Jones comes out and destroys Connor Braxton. It's great, man. And he turns around and walks off, man. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. Okay. All right, so 20 minutes, 25 maybe to get this ring put up between the last match to the main event. So I almost fell asleep, but they got it going. They got it going late.
Not real streamlined process, yeah.
Right, yeah. It takes a little while to put up a cage on the indie scene.
A little bit of dead air.
Right. All right, so Mance Warner versus Fred Yehi. They were, running a lot of video packages. These guys have been going at it for a while. Fred's kind of had his number. Fred beat Mance last time they wrestled, but it wasn't for the belt. Well, this time it was for the belt. Everything that I imagine it would be, crazy spots, a lot of blood, carnage, kendo sticks up against the cage, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. All right, so getting to the end, Infamy comes out and they hit Mance Warner with a kendo stick. Well, Fred Yehi grabs Mance through the whole like crazy thing. Then the ref is knocked out, and the ref gets hit, knocked out too. Well, as Fred as he's got Mance in a chokehold, Mancer's passing out. The ref kind of wakes up and sees that Mance is passing out, and then so he's checking his hand, and knew AAW World Champion, man, Fred
And
Yehi.
Nice.
So there we go. Fred Yehi versus Eddie
Eddie
Kingston.
Kingston.
Wow, that's gonna be so awesome.
It's going to be great, man. And then at the end of the show, to tip it off, Shaft and Josh Alexander come out to stare down Fred Yehi standing tall, holding up the belt. So I'm excited, boys. We're sitting on the stage, man. It's the best place to sit in the whole
awesome.
Cannot wait.
To show you how much I love these seats. My wife don't go with me to wrestling very much, but when she does, I take her to these particular seats. I try to get them because they're comfortable and you're not so packed in there like sardines. And
so we're in the wife suite seats.
Yep, right by the entrance, man. So
yes.
when we're less than a month away, boys, get ready.
That's amazing. Cannot wait.
Man. It's going to be fun. All right, Primo. We got a lot of WWE to get rolling here. SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, man. Get us rolling with SmackDown.
Let me talk to you. Everybody listen up because the champ is speaking.
Woo!
All right.
Starting
off with SmackDown. Smackity down for AJ.
Smacketh downeth.
Smacketh downeth. The SmackDown Hotel. We can go all night.
I don't know why this is so funny to me, but they are.
So I'm going to run down a few things. I'm going to try to go through SmackDown and Raw pretty quick so we can get to NXT. But so SmackDown, let's say we have a match with Depressed Boring Baron Corbin. That's my name for him now, Boring Baron Corbin.
Boring Baron Corbin.
So Depressed Boring Baron Corbin says that he has to win Money in the Bank. And then he's so sad he comes out with no music. He's like sulking, his facial hair and his terrible hairline is growing out.
It's all scraggly and
it's like he looks bad. And he still ends up losing to King Shinsuke. And Shinsuke qualifies for Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Next up, we have a tag team match with Tamina and Natalia, and they are told just beforehand that they will have a tag team debuting against them. That tag team is none other, which confused me a little bit, and I'll tell you why, was Shotzi and Tegan Knox. Now, it's not so much that them being a tag team and them debuting on SmackDown. Okay. It's more that Tegan Knox just returned and attacked Candice LeRae last week.
Yeah, makes sense of that.
Yeah, they don't care about that though.
Yeah, no, they're like, just get her up there.
Yeah, like
and we're gonna leave Ember back on NXT,
right?
Even though she's already been on the main roster before. So
yes, and everyone loves her.
Right, I'm a big fan of Ember. So also moving on, Sonya Deville announced that Bayley. So Bayley was injured during training. She cuts a promo on the fans saying that they don't care and it's all of our fault that she's injured.
I like that.
They won't even find a replacement that's better for her anyway, and she doesn't care. So
she doesn't care.
So Sonya Deville has to find a replacement for Bayley to challenge Bianca for the title. And on that note, I know why now, but Bianca's title defense got moved to Friday Night SmackDown and taken off Money in the Bank.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. And none other than the most beautiful woman on SmackDown, Carmella, was selected once again by old Sonya Deville.
Sure.
AJ.
So she gets she challenges Bianca for the title. Out comes Liv Morgan to state her case again. Liv Morgan comes out. She's like, "Are you kidding me? We've been through this. I beat Carmella. I beat Zelina Vega last week. Like, what is your deal, Sonya?" And Sonya's like, "If you would have let me finish, I was about to tell you that you're Carmella's replacement in the Money in the Bank ladder match." And she's like, "Oh, all right," and she leaves.
Right. Okay, well, I'll just see myself out here.
Time to hit the old dusty trail.
I know, y'all couldn't do that a different way. Like it just bullied her.
Learn how to announce things, WWE. You wouldn't have 3/4 of the problems that you do.
What's your fans?
So now we have the women's SmackDown Women's Championship match on Friday night. This Friday actually, and it will be between Bianca Belair and Carmella. And to catch you up, Liv Morgan is now in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Also announced randomly off air, not in any show, was Natalya being added to the Money in the Bank ladder match as well.
Sure, throw her in there. Why not?
We're gonna add in one of the best women's talents in the past 15 years, and she's also the current women's tag team champ. But we're just not gonna put it on TV.
No matches or anything.
We'll let you find out.
Yeah, and they got another SmackDown. They could have
coming up.
done
Yeah,
all that before.
It's the go home show.
Yeah.
Sure.
The other Seth Rollins qualify for Money in the Bank. Then he reminds everyone that the last time he cashed in, it was against the current champion, Roman Reigns, and he says he should do it again, and that basically Edge comes up behind him and he's like, I didn't take your spot, because Rollins had been complaining that he should be the one competing against Roman Reigns anyway, and Edge popped in. But Edge says he isn't complaining like Rollins is, and he's going to go call Roman out, which is what we're going to get to now in this main point. So the main point of the show is between the whole family and Edge. So Jimmy comes at the beginning of the show. Jimmy wants to talk to Roman, but Paul's like, hey, he's got to go handle some things, but you will get his undivided attention at a later time. Roman comes out to the ring. He says that the one thing he won't stand for is a liar like Edge. And the only thing that he fears is that 10 seconds that he thought for a split second things were gonna go for the worst, but he realized that made him kick into another gear and destroy Edge. He says the Edge got him 2 weeks ago because he was focused on family issues and not even thinking remotely about Edge. He says, speaking of family, it's time to handle some family business. Out comes Jimmy Uso. Jimmy comes out. This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, he didn't miss any time, huh?
Nope.
Not at all. Which, that doesn't really bother me. I talked about this last week. I didn't know what they were going to do with him after the incident. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But it's their choice. And however, I will say, throughout that whole beginning thing, he visibly looked kind of like he was disappointed himself.
A little bit, yeah. He looked a little just down.
Yeah, they're like, you're going to go out there and you're going to work. You're going to act like nothing happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was a little. Yes, he seemed a little down.
I don't know if so on the one hand, I'm glad that they're not punishing him because I like the storyline. On the other, this is a bad sign. It sends a kind of a bad message. You can do whatever you want, and we're not going to punish you because you're in the middle of an important storyline right now. It's the only storyline going in all of WWE, basically, except for Riddle.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, but I'm not glad. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why this next part happened so quickly. Was basically he was like, hey man, hey Oos, Roman, where were you last week? I had to handle things by myself. I did it for the family, like you were always saying we need to do. Roman's like, I was out doing what you were supposed to be doing. I did your job. And then out comes main event, Jey Uso returning back to SmackDown. I do think he came back a little earlier than anticipated.
Okay, yeah, just in case.
They all embraced. The family embraced. I love to see it. They all talk about, Roman gets to be a champ. Usos get to be the tag champs.
Yeah.
Primo's world is going to be happy. Yeah.
But who gets the IC belt? They still don't have a member for the...
They need to call up their other cousin or something.
Do they have? They need to bring
back...
They
have more.
Kishi.
Joe.
Is Kishi still alive?
Well...
Kishi.
Their dad?
Yeah. Is he?
Wait, yeah, he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah, Kishi. Bring him in here. Get him back in doing some Kishi bumps.
Doing some
stink faces.
Or maybe they can go get Iceberg from Infamy in AEW. Man, he looks like a baby Roman to me. You know, just
yeah,
like
he does.
Take I don't even know if he's not Samoan. I don't think, but take what's his face, Commander Aziz. Just move him over there.
Is he supposed to be Nigerian?
Yeah. But moving on.
Allegedly.
Roman says the way to get it done is together. Everyone's on the same page. Says no one can touch them if they do it this way. They all embrace in solidarity. They all hug each other. Bing, bang, boom. Edge says he has a comment on the family getting back together, but he's going to save it for later on because he's calling Roman out. Usos, this part of the show was completely useless. Usos,
yes.
The Usos go in the back and they're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna sneak up on him, right? So they wait, and it's like commercial break. All right, we come back. They're still outside the door because Jay had already told Jimmy, don't knock on the door. What are you doing? You know?
Right, yeah.
And eventually, because they were gonna wait for him to come out and ambush him. Him being Edge, if you didn't hear me. So,
what's that shirt he's wearing? It's like Iconoclast.
Iconoclast.
Iconoclast, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know what that is?
I do. Have you
What
not been paying attention to the chat? I'm all about the words tonight. Means one who disrupts.
Right.
Oh, sorry. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Read a book, Dirty.
AJ has 2 English degrees, okay?
Yeah. Right. And I have 0, so I can just ask you what iconoclast means, and you can tell me. I ain't got to read no chat, sir. You can just tell me. Don't tell me to scroll
but then,
to find the answer to the question.
I don't get the hot dog and grandstand if
if
I don't tell you to read the chat.
So
I am fired, aren't I?
As they were trying to ambush Edge, they go to commercial break. They come back. They get impatient and just charge in the dressing room. Edge was never in there. So
Right.
and here I am thinking, I'm like, okay, so they went in there. He's not in there. Is he? But maybe he is actually outside. And he's gonna lock him in there to make sure it's a 1-on-1 later in the night. No, that didn't happen either. It was just completely useless part of the show. Edge comes out and says congrats are in order for Roman reuniting the family. He says that he does say at Money in the Bank he's going to take the title and no one will get in his way. Tells Roman to come out to the ring. Roman tells the Usos to hang back in the locker room. He's going to handle it on his own. And on the way out, he hands Paul the title and just says, "I got this." He goes out solo. What did we have come out, Dirty? Maybe some TSR.
Yes, sir. We got some tracksuit Roman back, baby.
Tracksuit.
That means business.
TSR.
Somebody's getting whooped when he's
That's
got the
right.
tracksuit
Tracksuit Roman.
Down.
That's his business tracksuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had.
I love how Paul is like a standing statue and just just comes by and hands the belt over to him. He's like, and then he just kind of walks.
And anything he does, like he talks, Paul's like a little,
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's always like looking up at him.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, have another.
So so he hands him the title, walks out solo. Basically, they exchange words, and eventually, Roman does get in the ring. They start, but before that, they show the Usos backstage. They feel something's kind of fishy. I don't know if they get their spidey senses tingling or what, but they decide they need to come to the ring also.
Their Usi senses.
Yeah, their Usi senses are tingling. And they come out to the ring. Roman's like, "What the heck? I told you guys to not come out. The one, you didn't listen." Anyway,
I told you not to wear that shirt that says "Yeet" on it too.
So they come out and he ends up going in the ring. Him and Edge start brawling. Next thing you know, Biyaka mysterious.
No.
But okay, I will say this: they need to come back so that the Usos can take the titles.
They do, but can't they just drop them, vacate them? Can't the Mysterio just be like, "All right, we retire, both of us," even though Dominic's 18 or whatever he is?
Well,
they're like breaking news. we got Dominic's birth certificate. He's actually not been old enough to wrestle this whole time.
Yes, he's actually 14.
Right.
He was 2 when
Eddie was actually his dad. Eddie was actually his dad.
Yeah, the historic moment doesn't count.
No, I'm so over the Mysterios.
And this leads to, after we hear Booyaka Booyaka, they come out. Usos are looking this way. Mysterios come in from the back. They hit them both with chairs. The old switcheroo. Yeah. They hit them with chairs, and then they end up jumping them, and then basically that's how the night goes off. It goes off with a brawl and Edge standing tall in the end in the Mysterios.
Booyaka, booyaka!
That's your SmackDown.
All right.
Jumping off the boat and what have you.
Monday Night results.
Yes, I've been waiting to listen
Let's
to
get it on.
Yeah. Jet Dryer, thank you, buddy.
Ooh.
Subscribe at Tier 1 for 4 months. Thanks, Jet. Thanks, brother. All right, Primo, get us rolling, man. Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw show begins with footage of last week's events between the New Day and Lashley and MVP, which is their tag team match that they had where New Day ended up winning and Lashley ended up being furious. They arrive for their opening matchup, which is Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley. Big Bob Lashley. So Xavier actually beats Bobby clean with the inside cradle. How about that?
Yep.
Cool boy.
I hope they do like a New Day triple threat feud for the title. That's never going to happen, but I would be so.
I never want them to split up.
No, it'd be so cool.
They only if they do it as friends. I don't want them to split up.
like three babyface.
At the end, they're like,
members.
"Good job, Biggie."
Yeah, I know, because he'd be the only one that would go down.
Right. So afterwards, Bobby Lashley, after he loses to Xavier Woods, he leaves the ring with his confidence clearly in question. Like he's all distraught. Just leaves the ring, leaves MVP back there. MVP's like, what happened, dog?
What happened?
After that, it is revealed that he left the building, but MVP says he'll be back later in the night for the VIP lounge. So, Lashley, later on, they end up having the VIP lounge, and Lashley does come back. But he comes back, he's looking a little disheveled. His nice vest is unbuttoned. His his tie is undone. And basically, he says he's done. He tells the ladies to get out. And he says he's done with, all the hoopla, all the shenanigans that MVP's doing as far as the champagne and the girls and all the fun. He's ready to get back to business. Because he says that everything that Kofi's been saying about him is unfortunately sounding true as far as, him losing his focus. So he says it's time to get back to business. He chunks everything out of the ring, including the couches. MVP's like, he's just standing there like, what the heck? Yeah. He's like, we had Bobby chicks Lashley. And alcohol, and you just threw it all out of the ring. And two casting couches. But so he says the circus is dead, and so is Kofi's career. This Sunday at Money in the Bank. Next up, we have Jinder Mahal arrives on his awesome custom motorcycle.
That was pretty awesome.
It shows that he still has possession of Drew's sword. Later in the ring, he says that maybe, he took it a little too far. He wants Drew to come do the right thing, have Drew come out. So Drew ends up coming, and he wants to give back the sword. Drew ends up showing up on the big screen instead. It's like, he's like, you think I'm a fool? You think I just come down to the ring when there's 3 of you down there? And he says, but one thing, there's like an unwritten rule that we all know, is that you can't actually bring your real items to the show and expect for them to not get tampered with. And he's like, what you have there, because at one point Jinder unveils what he has under the red blanket. Tarp blanket. Afghan. Yeah. The red the crocheted blanket.
The red pashmina.
Yeah. So he unveils it, and it's actually the Claymore sword that they stole, but it's broken. And after Drew's like, yeah, you guys don't have the real thing. And he pulls up his own Claymore sword, apparently. He says, but your motorcycle here is the real thing, isn't it? And he ends up, with his bare hands, ripping apart this motorcycle. He takes off the exhaust, beats it a little bit, takes off the fuel tank, throws the fuel tank, kicks the bike over, and he ends up tearing the motorcycle apart with his bare hands, and this is leading to a more of a gender and Drew feud.
A Frood. The old gender Frood.
So now we know Drew is not going to win Money in the Bank because gender is going to interfere.
Wonderful. For a quick second, I thought that he was going to like kayfabe stomp the motorcycle, like how they do like the kayfabe like stomps where they stomp their other foot too,
right?
And no damage is done. I was kind of looking forward to that. I'm mad that he didn't do it. That's all I got on it.
But yeah, so that motorcycle is done. It's about as done as, that ambulance that Braun Strowman tipped over. Or
that other ambulance that Braun Strowman tipped over.
Yeah, exactly. So we had Sheamus attack Humberto Carrillo backstage before the U.S. title match. Carrillo ends up coming out anyway against Adam Pearce's wishes. It says he's got this is a one shot for the United States Championship. Sheamus ends up defeating him, but then after he defeats him, he starts attacking Humberto Carrillo, but is saved by Damian Priest.
Boring.
The purple archer dude. That's what he is. That's what he is to me. I know who he is, but that's all he is to me right now. Purple archer dude. I literally wrote this sentence. Alexa Playhouse has Eva Marie and Dewdrop as her guests. Completely useless segment.
Yeah, very.
Yes.
Moving on.
100% true.
I do want to take a quick moment to say that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks were awarded an ESPY for their match at WrestleMania.
They were.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Rhea Ripley defeats Natalya, but is ambushed afterwards by Queen Charlotte with a chop block of her own and a...
Did you say Queen Charlotte?
No.
Queen Shart? Queen Shart?
Queen Charlotte?
Queen Shart?
No, I mean, that would be
Charlotte
bad.
is a tiny shark.
We are off the rails here on charts and farts.
She runs in with a baby poop fart.
So Charlotte hits her with a chop block and does a figure four with an assistant of hanging over the apron. I want to save this one for last just for dirty. Surprise, splash holes. The Flood Studs arrive as the moist must-see superstar, Johnny Drip Drip, takes on Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere match. The Guru of Greatness versus the one and only Ricochet. It was a good match. It really was. I liked it. It's their third time to wrestle, and I still want to see them do it more. The funny part of this was Riddle comes out and he places Miz on his back like a turtle.
Like a turtle.
And
that's exactly what went through my head.
And Miz is just kicking his legs, and he starts squirting him in the face with the drip stick. And that distracts Johnny Drip Drip and causes him to lose to Ricochet. So that was all of Monday Night Raw.
Queen Charlotte.
All right. Well, the best show still going on right now, and this one was pretty good too here. So we'll let Primo finish us up here with NXT, and then we'll get to the rest of the show here.
We will let me do that.
Let us listen to you.
We will let me do that.
But before this is huge. This is really big.
All right.
Before I get to NXT, everybody here, us three marks, everybody listening on all of our platforms, all of you listening on Sportinarium, all of you in the chat watching us right now, take a moment.
The millions.
To celebrate that we will never have to experience the Thunderdome again.
Yes.
God.
Because this Friday is live, baby.
I want to watch them tear it down. I hope everyone just punch everything.
Bailey posted a video of some of it getting torn down.
So for half a second, because the VIP Lounge was the final segment in the Thunderdome, when Robbie Lashley started going off the rails and throwing everything out of the ring, I thought that's what he was going to do.
I thought so too. I was very disappointed when Hobo Lashley didn't.
He could have at least thrown a couch into the LED screens.
Yes.
Yeah, let's tear this stuff up, man. We ain't gonna need it no more.
Right.
I want to see the TVs fall like dominoes, like
yes,
all the way around. Be like the waves.
You see me back there that's been hiding with just my flag. You finally see my face.
Wait, are you saying you would react to the like on screen? You'd be like,
"Oh no!" All right, so NXT. We're an hour and a half. We have not finished the recap.
I know.
NXT recap. We have the breakout tournament. So that was what happened on NXT last week. To talk about the breakout tournament real quick, we had there was the first match of the breakout tournament in the first round. It was Duke Hudson, which is a 6'5" big old dude from Adelaide, Australia. Yes, and he's clearly doesn't lack any ego.
No,
and he knows he's a large guy.
Yes.
So, and he was facing off against Ikemen Jiro from Tokyo, Japan, who was trained by Tajiri and Great Muta.
Primo, you're a UFC fan. Duke Hudson, he looks like Luke Rockhold to me. I keep thinking he's Luke Rockhold.
He's just bigger.
Yeah. I keep thinking Luke's in wrestling.
So Duke Hudson actually, which I thought they were going to go, I thought Ikemen Jiro was going to take it, but Duke Hudson actually wins and advances to the next round of the tournament. We have a singles match between Escobar and Dexter Lumis. Santos Escobar ends up winning with but they had an assist by Legado del Fantasma. After the match, though, Hit Row comes out and starts taunting Legado del Fantasma, and once again, there was a Hit Row segment that went nowhere.
Yeah,
just like last week, except this one I didn't hear what they were saying this week. But
all you can hear was Top Dollar over everybody else.
He was just yakking. Yeah, he was just barking at him. And then, but Legado del Fantasma's like, okay, and they just left stage left. So during the commercial break, though, we saw Indy Hartwell helping up Dexter. Coming out, he picks her up, or she picks him up. Excuse me.
Yeah, she picks him up,
and then she ends up tripping and face plants, and ends up. She begins to go in for a kiss. Candice LeRae comes out, stops her, and Indy Hartwell gets interrupted again, trying to get some loving from Dexter.
Poor Indy Hartwell.
Sad.
Heel pen.
Adam Cross arrived, or excuse me, Adam. I read that two different sentences there.
Adam Cross, baby.
Adam Cross, baby.
Adam Cole arrives to the ring. He says it feels good to say "I told you so." Adam Cole, baby.
Baby.
He says he is way better than Cool Kyle.
True.
And he is the best superstar in NXT.
Debatable.
He says he wants to talk. He says, but now he wants to talk about Samoa Joe. Talk about Samoa Joe choking him out and allowing Cool Kyle to put him in a knee bar and not doing anything about it. He says there isn't anyone in that locker room that is man enough to go toe to toe with Adam Cole. So out comes Bronson Reed.
A colossal Bronson.
This is. I think I have a feeling this could be Bronson Reed's final feud before he moves up.
Putting over Adam head out.
Yep. So he says he considers Adam Cole his golden opportunity. Adam tries to super kick Bronson Reed, but ends up getting laid out. We have Karrion Kross in the main event defending his title against Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. Karrion Kross ends up winning. However, after Samoa Joe raises Kross's hand, they start exchanging words.
Whenever my daughter was small, she would say Small Joe because she couldn't say Samoa.
Small Joe.
Small Joe.
I always laugh, feel like he's nowhere near small.
No, I don't think you would appreciate that.
Like, oh, look, Small Joe, Daddy.
Small Joe.
So as Joe begins to leave the ring, Kross attacks him from behind and chokes him out. Last thing to talk about on NXT, and I left it for last because I know Dirty's waiting for it. We have the debut of Cameron Grimes as the Butler.
Cameron Grimes.
We open up with a video package of the $1 Million Champ sitting in his home talking about, I got this new Butler. Let me talk to you. It's LA Knight. I got this new Butler. He's late on his first day. Already late. So he ends up coming. He knocks on he rings the doorbell on the front door. LA Knight opens the door. He's like, "You're late." He tells him, "You look filthy. You need to go get changed and start working." He's like, and so Grimes starts to come in the front door. He's like, "No, in the back." Makes him go to the back. He makes him go to the backyard, and he gives him a beard trim, a little bit of a haircut, makes him slick his hair back, puts him in a butler suit, and he looks like a penguin. And so he's thinking, and I can see where this is going to go now. So he constantly is like, "Ha ha, I got you. I have you wearing this penguin suit. You look ridiculous."
Yeah.
And Cameron Grimes is like, "I look amazing."
Yeah.
He's like, "I look so good." And then he's like, "All right, now your first task is to mow this entire yard," which, by the way, it only looks like 2 acres. That's not that big. But for the show, apparently it's big.
It's a huge.
It's like for those of us that didn't grow up in the country. So anyway, he's like, "Okay, that's it." So he goes to go get on the tractor that's sitting right there, and LA Knight's like, "Nah, you're not gonna get the keys to that tractor, kid.
Yeah.
You take this manual push mower, and you got to walk every inch." He's like, "Oh, that's nothing. My grandma used to chase me around the yard with this thing." So,
what a great line.
So it's every time LA Knight tries to basically get one over. Once again, Cameron Grimes is like, "No big deal, man. Like, this is cool."
He's trying to make him do stuff, and he's not getting annoyed. And
Yeah.
No, he just loves it.
But however, they come back from commercial break, and LA Knight had left, and he comes back to his home, and he catches Cameron Grimes sitting by the pool with his shirt off, drinking a drink. And he's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be out there doing the yard." And there's this kid out there finishing up the yard.
Noah was his name.
Yeah.
Noah.
He's like, "I may be your butler now, but I'm still a millionaire, and I know how to delegate."
And I know how to delegate. Yes, sir.
And then he goes to pay the kid, and LA Knight won't let him. And so the money he tries to give the kid is on the ground at this point. He's like, he's like, "Let me get that for you. Let me get that for you." And he goes to rake up the money instead of just pick it up. And he ends up knocking LA Knight into the pool. He's like, "I'm sorry, you need to get me." Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. LA Knight wants him to call him Mr. Knight or Sir. And at the end, he goes, "You need me to get you a towel, sir?"
Yeah.
And that was
be
NXT.
comedy gold, man.
Yeah.
This is part of it. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be great storyline bollocks. It's going to be just awesome.
It is.
That was your recap for WWE for the week.
All right, good job on the recap, boys. Let's jump right into our dropkick discussion of the week. This week, we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite. Now, this is favorite, not top 5 that we think, but our favorite top 5 announcers, commentators, as the pens start to click already. Around here, that means don't copy my list. Basically.
Which they're going to be the.
But what we're talking about here is, sounds of our childhood, who we always loved hearing call matches, the big matches of the world, like who really got us into wrestling, who tells the best stories, so I think
this is ring announcers too, right?
Yeah, ring announcers, commentators, anybody that held a microphone other than wrestlers in wrestling. This is what we're talking about. So, all right, so let's get started here. You want me to start this week?
Yeah, you never start.
I never start.
Primo,
yeah.
All right. Your number, or not Primo? I see. I
Try
feel
again.
I'm fired.
Take
Fired.
two. Take two.
Dirty Bird, why don't you start us off with your number 5? Who you got for number 5?
All right, my number 5. I knew my top 4. Okay, I knew my top 4. I'm like boom, 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 because I think about this one a lot actually, because the guys in my upper tops are no longer with us. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But but for me, my top 5 is I'm going to address him like two wrestlers rest him. First of all, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. And then the other wrestler that addressed him was Mean Woo Gene. Ric Flair used to talk to him. But my number 5 was Mean Gene Okerlund. You know, he was the number one interview guy for me. You know, I always loved his one-liners. He had great zingers. You know, I love the legendary "We're live, pal" with Sid Vicious.
With Sid
He was trying to
Vicious.
do it over. Yeah, just so much good stuff. And he was such a student of the game. You know, wrestling wouldn't be where it was without Mean Gene Okerlund. I had a hard time picking at number 5. The other one I was going back and forth with was a Gorilla Monsoon.
Mm.
And just because, you know, if you know me, I grew up a WCW NWA guy, you know, in the South. But, you know, for me, the sounds of WWF wrestling, you know, was Gorilla Monsoon and Mean Gene because I was the guy renting those VHS tapes at the Blockbuster Video, you know, after SummerSlam had been on for like 3 months, you know, getting to watch it. And I always loved watching the backstage interviews. So for me at number 5, Mean Gene Okerlund. One of you boys want to take 4?
Yeah.
I mean, one of you guys want to take number 5?
I mean, I'll take 4 later. I'll take 5 now, though.
Take 5.
So,
Eventually 4 will come out. Yeah.
so my number 5. Another thing too I want to say about Mean Gene real quick. He was in. It seemed like at one point he was everywhere I looked. You know, whether it was you go back to any of the older WWE documentaries, he was there. He would be like the host of the documentary. Remember, he used to do in WCW. He would come out on the stage and talk about the line you can call.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
call the hotline.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the number?
No, I don't.
1-900-909-9900.
9900. Yeah, he was in Legends House too. Remember that?
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
So moving on. Speaking of WCW, I grew up, as we 3 know, I grew up a WWF kid. However, my brother liked WCW, and I did tune into it every now and then. And every time I did, I heard Tony Schiavone. It's Sting!
I don't know if I can furiously click my pen anymore.
So
Yeah,
he is a legend of the business as well. He is one of the voices of the Monday Night Wars on the WCW side. Yep. He also is still relevant to this day in AEW. I mean, and his voice is still just as prominent. And what's really cool is he sits next to another guy that will be on one of our lists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and Tony's a former Braves radio announcer too.
So yeah, and I heard that too. I actually read that about him. He actually came on Turner Network to be a sports broadcaster.
Yeah.
And got pushed into wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you guys also know that he was a barista at Starbucks for a while after WCW shut down?
Yes.
I was about to say, wait, Starbucks existed? Wait. But anyway, that's my number 5, Tony Schiavone.
Nice.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go now. So I have an honorable mention though first. He was terrible commentator, but I loved him so much. Dusty Rhodes, baby, on commentary, just because he always had the most ridiculous nonsense that was like he said things like "belly willy."
Yeah,
We're gonna
fucking like a monkey, baby.
Be a bunch of chickens in a coop, and we're gonna have an old fashioned inside. Like it's
right. Yeah,
it's utter nonsense, but I loved it. I loved it as a kid. I love it as an adult.
We'll have a good old fashioned shindig here.
So my number 5. He could have said one word and one word only in his entire career, and he would still be number 5 on my list. And that word is, of course, Yate! Number 5, Tony Schiavone. I won't say anything else about him because we've already said so much about him. That one call, though, makes him Hall of Fame in my book.
Sure.
Wait.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, real quick. I was speaking to my brother. He's in the chat right now, so he heard me talking about him. Like I said, he was the WCW guy. So that's pretty cool. He actually sent me his number 5, and his number 5, if you want to hear it, was also Mean Gene Dirty.
Very good.
All right. Start for rounds of number 4. My number 4, we just talked about him, Tony Schiavone. My Tony Schiavone, though, held the microphone doing interviews. World Championship Wrestling. Go look it up on Peacock. World Championship Wrestling. Tony Schiavone, David Crockett Jr. side by side. Man, it just didn't get much better than that. All of nearly 90% of Flair's great promos. Tony was holding the microphone. You know what I mean? So 9 times out of 10, you heard Flair. Tony was holding the microphone. He always used to like cut on Schiavone, like tell your wife I say hello. Tony would always be like, you know what I mean? So it was great. But yeah, Tony wrestling would not be sound as good without Tony Schiavone. So thank you, Tony Schiavone. My number 4.
All right, my number 4. Now this one actually, I didn't know where I wanted to put. I'm switching over to a ring announcer, by the way, and I didn't know where I wanted to put her on my list, but I put her in there at number 4, and I knew I wanted to put her on there specifically because she was the ring announcer for most of the 2000s, and that's Lillian Garcia.
Interesting.
And also because I have all the memories of watching her sing the national anthem at the beginning of all the WrestleManias.
Yeah, so good, man.
And more importantly, she sung it on the 9/11 tribute show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she did.
So that was very cool. So Lillian Garcia is my number 4.
She always got big pops too at house shows and stuff, man.
Right.
She was, liked her a lot.
So my number 4 is going to be real easy again. Mean Gene Okerlund, number 4, for all the reasons that both of you have said. My list is going very fast.
We can hear your Undertaker list later.
Yes, you will. All of 3 matches are against Giant Gonzalez. So Mean Gene Okerlund, like I remember my favorite all-time line from Mean Gene was when he was doing an interview with Macho, and he was like, Macho says that his mustache was crooked, and then Mean Gene just goes, "Well, your beard is a little off kilter." That made me laugh as a child. It makes me laugh now. I love Mean Gene Okerlund, so he's my number 4. You guys have already talked about him, so moving on.
All right, for me, getting into number 3, Primo talked about it. This guy's probably going to be on all of our lists. I just read his book, by the way. It's awesome. The last book that just came out. I can't remember the name of the
JR's book. Barbecue Sauce.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, good old JR, Jim Ross. He's been the voice of WWE, now AEW forever. He was NWA. WCW. This guy is Jim Ross is in the GOAT talk for the best of all time, and he's got to be on everybody's list for top 5, or it's not a top 5. So Jim Ross comes in at number 3 for me.
All right, number 3, and this is you probably won't be clicking at me on this one, AJ. Speaking of books, I did listen to this guy's audiobook recently on Audible, which, speaking of Audible, in case y'all didn't hear earlier, we are also on Audible.
We are on it, yes.
Booyah! The champ has spoken. So,
Booyaka!
Booyaka. So, anyway, it's another ring announcer, and it's probably I probably put him on here because of his book and all his story, and I also liked how he announced John Cena, Justin Roberts.
Okay,
I love that whiteboard. That's my new favorite thing.
Yeah, you see all the ages.
Yeah.
John Cena.
Amazing.
So Justin Roberts, and I mean he had his time in the WWE, but he always had the way he put his own little twist on some of the names was enough to make me really enjoy him as a ring announcer.
All right.
So my number 3 is JR. Obviously, it's JR. Like you said, Dirty. Like if JR isn't on this list, it's not a list. He's the best of all time.
I guess mine's not a list.
Yeah.
No, yours is a facsimile of a list written in whiteboard markers.
Whiteboard markers.
Facsimile is my new word for right now.
I feel like that's been said a lot today, hasn't it?
You know what's funny is last week our words were like bangers and moist.
Yeah, no, yeah.
This week we have a vocabulary.
Now we're a little more intellectual.
Our IQ went up 10 points when AJ got here.
Because I'm insufferable.
All right, so I'll go ahead.
Three, JR. I got nothing else.
JR. All right, so for me, here's where I start showing my age. Okay, this is where I'm going to be different from you guys for sure, I think. My number 2, Bob Caudle. Okay, Bob Caudle.
Good old Bob
I don't know who he is. Hard Times promo. He's holding the microphone for Dusty.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Bob Caudle. Yep. Big. Long. Yeah. I mean.
Nice.
I just want to say I listened to that to our podcast again today, and when we did listen back to that Hard Times promo, which is on episode 17. Catch it on all your audio platforms. It is great. It still gives me goosebumps, makes my arm hair stand up, and makes me want to run straight through a brick wall.
Yep. For me, growing up wrestling, there was one guy that I listened to call in wrestling, and he's going to be my number 1. And then there was the guy number 2 that was the interview guy that always interviewed the wrestlers. It was Bob Caudle. For me, like I said, he held the ring, he held the microphone for Dusty during the Hard Times promo. Legendary. I always laugh because he held the microphone up in the air, right, and it had one of those big, soft, and it was huge.
Yeah, one of those like UFO things.
Yeah. Like it would almost block your face while you're talking. You know what I mean? But Bob Caudle coming in second for me as number 2. Primo.
My number 2 is a ring announcer and commentator. He, at the time, no one knew he was the owner of the company. That is Vince McMahon.
Very good.
And he was great. He actually really was a great commentator. And he had a great ring announcer as well. And he brought his own energy and a classic commentator really style, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's just, then you go back to early 90s, listen to that. And Vince McMahon is my number 2. And I also like the fact that he was the ring announcer and commentator, and no one knew. Well, of course they knew, but we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know. I did. Who was the supposed? Oh, Jack Tunney. He was like the supposed one who ran everything, but it was really Vince McMahon.
Really, Vince. Yeah.
That was great. I did love that.
General manager Jack Tunney.
So my number 2 is, I'm shocked has not been mentioned yet. Probably the funniest announcer of all time. That would be Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Okay.
Not only was he a great manager on commentary, especially in WWF, WCW, he kind of stopped trying, but I do like him with Tony Schiavone. I thought that they worked very well together. But as far as like heel managers go, it was kind of invented, I want to say, by my number 1. But Bobby Heenan, he was such a heel announcer or a heel commentator, and it was great. He had like the best one-liners ever. Like one time, I think it was Gorilla asked him, would you rather have $1 million or a woman? And it was when Ric Flair and Macho Man were feuding, and Bobby Heenan goes, $1 million, because then you can have both. It's like, it's just little clever lines like that are brilliant, and Bobby Heenan had 1,000 of them a year, and I love him so much. Number 2, Bobby Heenan.
All right, let's get to these number 1s. For me, number 5, Mean Gene Okerlund. Gorilla Monsoon was right there. 4, Tony Schiavone. 3, Jim Ross. 2, Bob Caudle. For me, at number 1, there's no other guy, man, I could listen to this guy call wrestling. I wish he was still alive today to call wrestling. I mean, he'd be really old now, but I mean, like, Gordon Soley for me was the voice of wrestling, and there was nobody else. I'm going to play a little bit of Gordon here for you so you just kind of get an idea of his voice. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that voice, but this is it.
I don't know precisely what my legal limitations are or what the ramifications of this could bring. But I do know that I feel that I should bring this information to all of you and to all of the competitors, to all of the wrestlers around the country. So at this time, we're going to take a look at this piece of film. It's very short in duration, but I think it becomes rather self-explanatory. Let's take a look at it right now.
There's a little clip there from Gordon Soley.
He has a very like Howard Cosell, like old timey sports announcer kind of vibe going on. I like that.
AJ, let me tell you though, this guy was an announcer from that era. He smoked cigarettes next to the ring. He had his drinks there with him. You know what I mean? So he had a good time while he called wrestling. And a lot of times, if you've seen puffs of smoke going up next to the ring, it was Gordon over there chiefing away. But the voice of wrestling to me, man, was Gordon Soley, and his voice enamored me. It got me interested. It kept me interested. He told great stories. So for me, Gordon Soley. Primo.
All right. So my number one of all time. Let's go back down my list here. 5, Tony Schiavone. 4, Lillian Garcia. 3, Justin Roberts. 2, Vince McMahon. My number one was both of you guys' I don't even know, middle of your list. But mine is none other than good old JR, Jim Ross, Stone Cold!
My God!
My God! What a slobber knocker! He's broken up. You know all the sayings, the phrases. There's a reason.
Bummer Center.
He is the voice of wrestling during my life, during my wrestling lifetime. Yep. That I've watched wrestling. He's been on there the whole time. The only downside of good old JR is that he's from Oklahoma, and that's not his fault, I guess. But
okay,
right. But no, he made matches so exciting. He knew how to, at the climax of matches, really just excite the viewers. It just, I don't know. It was one of those things. Listen to him call a match, and he was just as into it as the rest of us.
Yeah,
he was. You could tell that he was first and foremost like a giant wrestling nerd, and then everything else, he just happened to be great at his job. That's why I love JR.
And I also liked how when he had to sit beside commentators like Michael Cole and the King, and
Taz,
Paul Heyman, and Todd and Taz. He had to sit beside all of them and put up with their BS. And half the time he would just brush them off when they were. So that was cool too. One last thing before I wrap that up, I want to say my favorite superstars that were commentators were most recently Samoa Joe. I also liked when CM Punk did it, and Jericho. And there was one other, but I just forgot.
Macho Man.
Macho.
What's that?
Is it
Macho Man? Yeah, Macho Man. Yes.
That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. He was awful, but I loved Macho on commentary so much.
It's very memorable, and he didn't want to be there.
Do the thing! Okay, do the thing, I guess. Okay, so my number 5, Tony Schiavone. Number 4, who was my number 4? I don't even remember. Oh, Gene Mean. Gene Mean Okerlund.
Gene Mean.
Gene Mean. Number 3, JR. Number 2, Bobby Heenan. Number 1 of all time. So I'm a babyface guy, but I have 2 heel commentators as my number 1 and number 2. He invented the heel. I don't know if he invented it. He perfected the heel commentator. He was so funny. He was so sharp. He hated Hulk Hogan. He put over everyone. Face, heel, didn't matter. Put them all over, and he was so good at it. And it's his birthday. Jesse the Body Ventura is my number 1 all time. And then, so not only... I loved him as a kid because I wasn't a Hogan fan. I was always a Macho fan.
Sure.
And then a Warrior fan. He hated Hogan, and I wasn't a fan of Hogan. And I always thought he was so funny. And then he was in Commando, which made me love him even more. And then he was in this movie called Repossessed. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this movie before. If you've never seen it, Repossessed, people listening out there, Repossessed, go watch it. It stars Leslie Nielsen. It's making fun of The Exorcist. And Jesse the Body Ventura plays a commentator in the movie, and he's amazing. So, also he ran Minnesota. So
yeah, the governor.
yay for Jesse. I loved him so much, and he got like when he got fired from WWE, it was for such a good reason. Like he was trying to unionize, which they still need to do, and Vince McMahon was having none of it and got rid of him, and still makes me sad to this day. So number 1 is Jesse the Body Ventura, funniest of all time. Love him.
He's a big cannabis activist now too. So
Yes, he is.
All right, so that is our top 5. I got some honorable or some other ones we might have missed here, and we'll run through them real quick. Kind of make you go, oh, well, Michael Cole, obviously, Willa Monsoon, Vincent McMahon. We said Jesse Ventura. How about Jonathan Coachman?
Coach.
Taz.
JBL.
Yeah, that's another one I was going to say was JBL.
What about Jeremy Borash? No one mentioned
Jeremy Borash. How about Mike Tenay?
I love Mike Tenay.
Yeah.
Here's another one, guys. Mauro Ranallo.
I totally forgot he existed until this exact moment.
He's like more like boxing.
Yeah. 2 more, Joey Styles, and then Lance.
Oh my God!
Lance Russell, legendary Memphis area. You all right there?
I don't know how he did that cat fight call.
Mike Tenay! Yes, Mike Tenay. That's right.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I love that promo though. Me, woo! The crowd is going berserk, behind Flair. Man, I love it. So that is our Dropkick discussion of the week. Couple topics here, guys. The Daniel Bryan rumors are picking up. Where's he going? Where's he showing up?
I mean, so obviously everybody thinks automatically AEW. To be honest, TNA at the moment, Impact at the moment is not on AEW's level as far as what we see them as mainstream. Yes, Impact is probably third, but
Impact needs to make a big splash.
Yeah,
I think he goes either to AEW or just back to Ring of Honor.
I think that we're going to see Bryan Danielson in AEW very soon.
Yeah. Obviously, he'll come back as Bryan Danielson. Maybe
and then,
the American Dragon.
That would be so awesome. Yeah. And then I will mark out like I've never marked out before. So I'm going with AEW.
I hope he comes in. Yeah, I hope he comes in really cool if it is, So yeah, we'll see. But Ring of Honor could use him too, man. They need a big shot in arm too. Yeah. So anywhere he goes is going to elevate.
I did see this thing posted earlier today. Would you rather see Bryan Danielson show up, and these are 2 Ring of Honor alumni? Bryan Danielson show up on AEW or CM Punk?
CM Punk. I love me some Daniel Bryan. But
you guys are in Illinois.
Yep.
I'm not originally from here. I'm just a Punk.
It's true.
Mark.
I mean, I also am a Punk Mark. Yeah. I agree.
I didn't even have to think about that.
So rolling right into my next question is, AEW, Malachi, Aleister Black, and they've picked up just about all the big names. Can they sustain doing this? Should they? Should they pick and choose?
Nope.
Yes, they should absolutely pick and choose. They should really tread lightly on who they start snagging from these releases.
Yes.
Definitely stay away from
Braun Strowman.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yep.
I don't want to see Braun Strowman in AEW.
So, but they should maybe 1 or 2 more guys at most. But I'm just like, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I don't want to start burying all the young talent that you started the show with.
Yeah, I don't want AEW to become WWE Junior. That would bother me. It would ruin.
I mean, or like WCW with all the guys going from WWF.
Or TNA when they had like Hogan and Macho instead.
Immortal.
All right. Well, it's time to go to promo school, boys. We got a fun one today. We're going to listen to Steiner Math.
Yes, one of my
legendary Steiner Math call. So let's just listen to its brilliance and loveliness, and then we'll comment about it afterwards.
It's going to be a 3-way for the TNA heavyweight title at Sacrifice between you, Kurt Angle, and Samoa Joe. Now, before you get there, you have an important step tonight as you and X Division champion Petey Williams take on the unlikely duo of Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and two-thirds chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me. He's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and two-thirds percent, I got 141 and two-thirds winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice. See, but I'm going to break it down for all you ladies. Would you rather be with me, or would you rather be with Joe?
Well, I think Joe's kind of nice. I mean,
See, you're one of those girls that like romance. I'm going to talk to all my freaks out there. Would you rather come home to me, a genetic freak, to be satisfied every night, or go home to that fat-ass Samoa Joe? See, tonight, we're going to win, and I'm going to be the world champion at sacrifice. Come on, Pete. Let's go.
Scotty, just like you always say,
Petey Williams.
Big
Petey
Papa
Williams.
Pump, got your hookup,
Little Petey Pump.
Maple Leaf Muscle.
I got
is
your
your
hookup.
Hookup. Holler if you hear that.
Holla if you hear me.
He had a 148% chance.
The big bad booty
Breaks it
daddy.
down. Oh, I love it so much. He never needs to stop talking. Like ever.
So good, man. I love when he goes, so 66 and two-thirds a chance, Samoa Joe knows that he can't beat me.
So we take my 33 and the third percent chance that Samoa Joe has minus my 25%. At least 8.5%. That's amazing.
That was so good, like off the cuff, like he kind of had an idea of what he wanted to do, and he just went off the rails, and the multiplying and the dividing just kept going. The fractions.
That hurt my brain.
His math was okay for a while.
I tried to keep up with it. It just
I know. What the funny thing is like you're trying to check him. You're like, okay, yeah, 33 and a third. Double that is 66 and two-thirds.
So that is, again, divided by 3. But he has 2/3.
And then he has percentages and fractions. Yeah.
Doesn't
Man.
Samoa Joe, because you're fat.
And he got 140% in there somewhere.
Right, yeah.
That was his chance of...
and then after all that work and math, and then Samoa Joe knows he can't beat me.
You'd rather go home with Samoa Joe?
Oh, man, I love Promo School. So we'll bring back Promo School next week, man, with our next one, man. That was fun. All right, man, let's a little bit of sadness here. I want to talk about we had 2 recent passings in the world of wrestling. First, I want to talk about not so much a big name, Don Kernoodle. He was a guy that wrestled in NWA, WCW, wrestled in WWF for a little while. He was a former tag team champion with Sergeant Slaughter. This guy, he looked like the wrestlers looked like back in those days. Okay, the 2-strap. He was Mr. USA, red, white, and blue. He was, always a mid-card guy. They'd bring him in to put over the heels because the fans loved him so much. Another great guy like the Patriot that we talked about last week, really gave all to the sport. He had some small little flashes in the pan, like I said, with his tag team with Sergeant Slaughter. So just wanted to bring him up, man, as guys like him are the reason why wrestling's where it's at. The next one just passed away. I want to talk about Paul Orndorff here for a minute. He headlined WrestleMania 1, me and AJ was talking about.
Very first one.
Very first one. He was the partner with Roddy Piper against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Mr. Orndorff, Paul, a couple things. He was always in very good shape. He had a very sinister heel look, always wore the velvet robes to the ring. And I always remember too about Paul Orndorff. This is one of the first guys I remember having something written on his trunks.
Yeah, he did.
He always did the number, not the hashtag, but the number 1, and then it said "Der Full" on his trunks.
Wonderful.
And I always remember that, man. He was one of the big heels. Thank God guys like him existed because guys like him putting over big stars is the reason why wrestling is popular. So rest in peace, Paul Orndorff, one of the legends in wrestling. I think he might have been in Legends House too. I feel like wasn't he?
I think he was too. Wait, was it the
Hillbilly Jim was? I remember him.
Yes, he was. Oh yeah, because remember he had that arm injury that kind of like made the muscles atrophy, and I remember like being at the Legends House where his one arm was like so skinny, like the other one was still like
yeah, right, yep,
all buff and stuff, but yeah, the one I think so. I think he was at Legends House.
Yep.
He also had a great promo with Dan Spivey. I don't know if you guys remember that at all.
Dangerous Dan
Spivey.
Nice. Well, Primo, we briefly talked about it. Our boy Connor did not get it done.
Last week I did have him pegged to bring the Irish back to the winning bracket, but unfortunately, he had a nasty ankle lower leg break. I'm not even sure, but it just snapped.
It was gross.
Yeah, I think he broke it earlier, and then the pressure when he put it back on it probably.
I freaked my wife out because I'm sitting here watching it with my headphones on, being all quiet, and I'm like, "What just happened?" And she's sitting beside me, and then I'm like, because that kind of stuff to see it freaks me out. So I saw it, and I was like, "Oh!" And my wife was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, his leg was an L on the mat.
Yeah,
it was gross. And then they had to straighten it and splint it. And I will say, it didn't stop him from talking smack.
No, it didn't. He was on the ground with his leg in 3 different directions.
Yeah, but with that, I do have some headlines if you want to hear them.
Today's his birthday too, by the way.
Happy birthday, Connor.
Cool. Well, sorry they have to hear this again, Conor McGregor, because I have a tweet from Kurt Angle here that says... So, Notorious MMA broke his freaking ankle this past weekend. Big deal. I break my ankle all the time. I broke it this morning, and I'm jumping around right now. I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
He's not lying. He did do that.
That is great.
So, Kurt Angle tweeted that out. Other headlines I have here unrelated to that. Did you know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this past Monday, someone pulled a Rick Rude. For the first time, someone was on Monday Night Raw and AEW at the same night.
Whoa.
It was Kelsey Heather, women's wrestler. She was the first person to appear on WWE and AEW in the same night. She appeared as one of Lashley's ladies.
Really?
And she wrestled on AEW Dark.
That is fantastic. She pulled a Rick Rude.
Wow.
That doesn't happen often.
It does.
So, also, we have a match announced for Brian Cage versus Buddy Murphy, still formerly known as Buddy Murphy, in September at Battleground Championship Wrestling in Philly.
Brian Cage and... Oh, wait, I can't say it. It always gets cut whenever I say it.
Buddy Murphy.
Right. And last thing I want to say here, since we are coming up on Money in the Bank, is actually historical because it is the first men's all African American matchup for the WWE Championship.
That can't possibly be true.
The other time that if people stop and think, no, that's happened before, it was for the WCW heavyweight title between Rock and Booker T.
And Booker T, yeah.
But so WWE Championship.
Weird.
Right. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, one more thing I wanted to say too. We've seen Shotzi and Knox get pulled up. Is it pull up season? Or are we bringing up more? We've heard Bronson Reed. Is it post Mania call ups?
I hope not, but at the same time, I do. Like, I just want Finn Balor back on the main roster. That's really all I care about. Anything else, I don't want to mess with NXT because it's so good.
I want to get Cross off NXT.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know if he will thrive on the main roster.
See, I don't think he will.
I just want the other guys that I really like Adam Cole and Gargano and people like that, to be able to thrive, and Finn Balor to thrive on NXT more than they are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's just me. That's just me loving the golden age of NXT.
It's so good.
But also Bronson Reed, I do think it's his time pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, let's move on. Time for squared circle questions, boys. It is back. So what we do here is I have 3 categories: wrestler, pay-per-view, and wrestling potpourri. As this is edition number 3, AJ is reigning champion. And the way this goes is I state facts, and these guys try to guess what I'm trying to get them to answer. And if they announce or yell out an answer, that is their answer. So kind of Jeopardy style. The first you say is your answer. So all right, AJ, you are defending champ, man. Pick a category: wrestler, pay-per-view, or potpourri.
We're going to start with the one that we always have the most trouble with. Pay-per-view.
All right, pay-per-view. Here we go. The Steiners defeated Harlem Heat. The Rock and Roll Express defeated Scott Norton in Ice Train. Eddie Guerrero defeated Steve Regal. Diamond Dallas Page defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Dean Malenko defeated the Disco Inferno. Ric Flair defeated Conan. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with Starrcade 96.
That answer's wrong.
I'm going to go with...
Hang on, I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you might as well listen to him now. You got full shot.
Yeah, free. I got free listen.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I got the next 2 in the bag.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ric Flair defeated Conan.
Flair, baby.
Hall and Nash, with a mystery partner, defeated Savage, Sting, and Luger. Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. What pay-per-view?
I mean, darn it. I cussed. I need the cuss drive.
Come on, Primo. You just
I just talked about it. It was
it just
Great American Bash. Do I have to say the year too? Or was it not Great American Bash? Or was it Bash at the Beach? Bash at the Beach.
I mean,
final answer.
You can have 9 answers.
There's 2 bashes. There's 2 bashes. I know. It's one of those 2, and I know it. Great American Bash 96.
Bash of the Champions.
No, it's Bash at the Beach 96.
Dang it! I was so close. I was Great American Bash was this past week on NXT, so I'm like,
yeah, it was Bash at the Beach.
Bash
the
at the Beach
legendary
96.
Hogan turn. Yep. All right, AJ, stay up, man. Wrestler or potpourri?
Let's go wrestler.
All right, wrestler. Here we go. Born March 14th, 1974. He has a MMA background. He was with the WWE for 11 years. He came up through Ohio Valley Wrestling. He's won the U.S. tag titles and Intercontinental title. All right, here's where it gets interesting. He retired in 2014. He won his Intercontinental title from Umaga in his debut. His twin sister wrestled. He won Miss WrestleMania.
Santino
Marella.
Primo got it. Yep. Santino Marella. He wore a green sock over his arm as a snake finisher. And then the last one was the legendary story of he got punched by Jim Cornette.
Yes, he did. So
Santino Marella. All right. Comes down to this. Here's your chance. All right, you guys both.
This is potpourri.
You guys both get a shot at this answer. Okay, here we go. Closest wins in WCW. How many times did Rey Mysterio hold the cruiserweight title? In WCW, how many times did Rey Mysterio hold the cruiserweight title?
Including like the tag team cruiserweight title or just the regular cruiserweight
title? Just a single cruiserweight title. How many times did he win it? Closest wins.
Go ahead, Primo.
What's your answers, boys?
What do you want me to go first? I'm going to go with 7.
Are we playing Price is Right rules?
Closest without going
Yeah,
over?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with 7.
No, because you can bid $1.
I'm gonna go.
Take a real guess.
I'm gonna say 6.
All right, our winner today is AJ. The answer is 5. 5 cruiserweight wins for Rey Mysterio. So AJ stays our squared circle questions champion.
Wait, aren't we tied? Or does
What?
aren't we tied, or does it immediately go to me since I'm the reigning and defending squared circle champion?
Well, let's see. Primo got sent. Got
Santino
Oh yeah,
Marello.
yeah. You both got
We're
a question
tied. We need a
right. You both
tiebreaker.
question right. So, well, you're still the tie
It's a
goes
draw. You said
Yeah,
closest without going over, right?
closest without going over. Yeah. So he said 7. You said 6. So the answer was 5. So AJ will
Loser.
hold on until next week. You still got the big belt, so that's all that matters.
I think I was counting his cruiserweight titles in WWE as well.
All right, here we go. Let's finish up the show here, boys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What you like, what you don't like about wrestling right now, AJ.
Thumbs. Oh, my bad.
Thumbs up. And mine's real easy too. Thumbs up. Live fans. Thumbs down. Those same live fans.
Right?
They were terrible.
Yeah. Thumbs up, AEW. Thumbs down, AEW fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually,
Get out of here.
My thumbs up and thumbs down are very similar to AJ's. My thumbs down will be the live fans from AEW. They had a chance to be the welcome back live fans to all of us wrestling fans, and they didn't do their job.
No, they blew it.
My thumbs up is this week on Friday we get to see the WWE Universe return, and y'all better bring it. I am serious, because if you don't bring SmackDown to another level, then I'm going to lose my mind.
Yep, I'm gonna hate every second of it if they don't go nuts. If they pull an AEW,
it's the whole reason that they moved the. That's what I was gonna say earlier. It's the whole reason they moved the women's championship match.
Yeah, to get a pop. So
If they're offering free pasta on the way in, don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
No pasta. If you see Dirty out there with a spaghetti spoon,
they're like, "Hey, come eat
Swedish
some
chef.
Thanksgiving dinner before going into this wrestling
the
show."
Swedish chef making pasta.
You're just chucking meatballs at them.
Thank you. What was I doing?
Oh Lord. Yeah, my thumbs up is seeing the Thunderdome getting broken down.
Yes.
Get out of here. And that's my thumbs up. Thumbs down was the AEW crowd. Yes, and like I don't know, just the women's division WWE is just
bad.
Yeah, like I still want to see them do. They have a lot of talent there, man. Just want to see them do something with it. So, but all right, Primo, let's go over this Money in the Bank card, man, and then we'll AJ's gonna take us home.
Well, Dirty, I'm glad you asked. I have the Money in the Bank card, and speaking of the women's division,
well, all right then, Primo. Let's hear it, pal.
All right. Champ is speaking.
Sorry,
Rhea Ripley.
No.
Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Who you got?
Rhea retains
again. Yep. You think she retains again?
Yeah.
I thought at first that they were going to pull the championship off of Rhea Ripley, but then they didn't inexplicably. So I'm like, all right, there's
now it's like the flip. Now she's going to hold it too long.
Yeah.
I actually think that, and that's another thing too, is as time has gone on, she kind of has started to entertain me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, with her mocking Charlotte and stuff like that. That was good.
Long way to go, but she is getting a little better.
And let's move on to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash, the superhero in training, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalya, and one that's to be determined.
Becky Lynch.
Got to be Becky Lynch.
That's my TBD.
Which do you want her to win if she comes back?
TBD is Becky Lynch.
If it's not her, who do y'all pick to win? Quick picks. I say Liv Morgan.
I'm going to go
Cross.
with me too. Nikki Cross.
Okay.
or Liv Morgan. I don't know why I was looking at her when I said that. Liv Morgan, actually.
I'm sticking with Nikki.
No, Liv Morgan. I'd say one of those two for sure, but I'm going to pick Liv Morgan.
Plucky baby face.
Just because she's been doing the whole I've been busting butt gimmick and y'all hadn't been giving me a squat.
True.
Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. My pick has not changed, by the way.
Neither.
Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens. By the way, this match is stacked. King Nakamura and Seth Rollins.
We know it ain't going to be Drew.
Nope.
My pick is still Big E.
I'm saying Big E.
I am switching to Big E as well because
That's
not
the
Seth,
move.
not Seth, not Shinsuke, not.
Sit down more.
So.
Oh!
Okay, that was pretty good.
Don't you dare!
Hey, hang on. What cracked me up this past week after I listened to our podcast for the 10th time is when Primo reads the note that Randy wrote, like that Riddle. He's like, "Hey, bro." So we haven't had a chance for Primo to talk like Riddle yet, man. Can you put it in here for us? Can we get that?
He did say, okay, so the only time we saw Riddle was on Raw. He had a backstage segment where he's talking to Ricochet, and he's just he's talking about he's like, I'll go out there with you, Ricochet, because I miss my bro Randy. Wherever you're at, Randy, I miss you, bro.
He's like, hey, bro.
He's like, hey, bro. And he's like, I'm going to come out with you, Ricochet. So that's what happened. That's why he was out there and put Miz on his back like a turtle.
I love that so much. It was just flopping.
Yeah. So, moving on. Next on Money in the Bank card, we have the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match. AJ Styles versus he's with Almost versus the Viking Raiders. Eric and Ivar. Yes, I called him Almost.
Almost, yeah.
We're going to call them almost superheroes. What we're going to call them. Honestly, I kind of don't care. I really don't.
First of all,
Almost is getting really.
I want them to retain. Honestly, I
do too.
I'd like AJ Styles, AJ Karen.
Yeah, me too.
And I just don't give a squat.
Yeah.
I don't give anything about the Viking Raiders at all.
I actually actively dislike the Viking Raiders. I got so mad when Rebar or whatever his name is pinned AJ Styles on Monday. I got mad.
Rhubarb
pie. That shouldn't be. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Ibar, get out of here.
T-Mask. Or
The two men's championship matches: Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston.
Retain. Bobby ain't losing the belt either.
So, as much as I would love for Kofi to win, I also think that Bobby's going to retain.
I think Bobby's dropping a SummerSlam from Roman on our way to Mania.
I'm starting to agree with that.
I am going to say Kofi takes the belt.
If that does happen, I'm going to jump out of my seat.
Just because I want to see the face New Day all feud for the title. I want to see it.
That might happen. That could happen.
If we're picking Big E for the Money in the Bank win.
If Big E wins the Money in the Bank and Kofi wins the title and Xavier Woods is like, I beat the champion, I have a claim to a match.
Triple threat. I mean,
it's a thruple.
I don't.
It's a dirty bird thruple in a Punjabi prison match.
I don't in any way think that
Fatal
this is going to
7-way.
happen. But I want it to happen.
I think about an obscure match. I always go to the Punjabi prison. I don't know why.
Yes, because it's awesome.
It is so
I need to stay on a poll.
I just see the last one they did with Randy Orton up on there about to win, and Great Khali just shaking it.
Great Khali just shaking it.
Last match.
Okay.
The guy who I let wear my shirt, Roman Reigns, and the rated R superstar
on this day. Iconoclast.
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
You got educated today, Dirty.
I did. You might call me Durple. I think
the old Durple bird.
Dirty Bird Thruple match. The old Durple, you know.
That's going on a T-shirt. I have so many
Roman
T-shirts
retains.
that I need to get made. Roman retains.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously. Obviously.
It's going to look like it's this close.
It'll be a good match.
Until my boys, the Usos, come out and fix it.
Yep. And then the Brood returns and takes out.
Gangrel rises through the flames.
Yep. And then
lights go out. Roman has blood all on him.
Yep.
It's a bloodbath.
Holla. We got
ourselves a tag team match.
Oh my god. The Brood, though.
Wait, Primo, was that your Teddy Long dance?
That's a Teddy Long. I'm in a tight space. I can't do too much.
Oh man, that was great. All right, that is the card for Money in the Bank. AJ, tell us what's going on the pod next week, brother.
Next week, we have our interview with RP Davies, which is going to be fantastic.
Professional boxer turned wrestler.
Yeah.
From the UK.
Yep.
Gonna talk about some Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, depending on where he turns up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Top 3 Dropkick Discussion, our top 3 favorite Daniel Bryan matches. What else do we have going on next week? We have another round of Squared Circle, so I can retain my mid-card belt against Primo.
Yeah, we got to come up with the name of the mid card belt. Like, is it we could call it the Starship Coyote belt or
Starship?
What was
that is the cakes that we're told to grab.
Yes,
yeah.
The cakes, grab them cakes championship.
Yeah. Also, promo school will be back next week. Some fun.
It's the sink from AJ's Mama's Kitchen.
Yes, that's.
All right. I want to thank everybody for watching on Twitch, listening everywhere that you can get your podcast. And I want to thank our sponsors, Coastland Apparel, www.coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BIRDTV or Primo for 15% off of your order. Primo, talk to us, man. Where can we get Sit Down Marks podcast?
Well, Dirty, I'm glad you asked. Let me talk to you, Marks. Twitch is your number one destination to watch us visually. If you want that visual experience to see all 3 of our wonderful faces that were actually made for radio. So if you want to hear the audio versions, you'll hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Sportnarium.com, on SportnariumRadio.com every Friday evening after the Thomas Bryce Sports Report at 7:15 Eastern Time. And as of today, if you didn't miss the big announcement from earlier, we are also now on Amazon Prime Music and Odyssey. So there is absolutely zero reason for all of you out there to not listen.
It'd be easier to list the places where we aren't instead
right.
of the places that we are.
We are everywhere. We are trying to make it so accessible to all of you out there, and we can't thank you enough.
Hey, Dirty, we're ubiquitous. Another word for it, ubiquitous. It means everywhere at once. Okay, I'm done being a annoying. We're not on like Netscape, Navigator, podcast, not on AIM.
Nope. American Online, are we AOL.com?
No AOL. Sad. We tried to get on. They were like, no.
Satellite radio, hit us up.
Yes, we're waiting. We're waiting for your call.
We'll answer that call.
Serious.
Well,
yes,
that was our podcast episode number 18. We'll be back next week with episode number 19, like I said, with professional boxer turned wrestler RP Davies. All right, well, we have reached that time in the show. Primo, are you ready?
I am ready. AJ, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, well, if you are ready, then I am ready. There's only 3 famous words left to say.
Grab them cakes.